Hey everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. The sounds from it. Well, no, no, they're reaching for straws. They're definitely reaching. I'm sure all of you have seen this joke, this attempt they're doing to distract from the facts of everything. And we'll get a little bit into that. It's that it what you're witnessing is desperation. It is going to amplify. Um, and that's what we're seeing right now. So, oh my God, yesterday was freezing. Hey, Billy. Good morning. How's everybody doing? It's been a long few days, hasn't it? We did, Stassi. We knew this would happen. No doubt about it. They've been silent. Then all of a sudden they get this court hearing and they're suddenly loud again. But the attempts they're going right now is comical at least. Like us ex warriors are fighting a good fight to keep the truth circulating. Well, here's the thing. So I will be going to my sheriff's office and my local police. I will be reporting the fact that they are accusing us of a crime that has never taken place. Um, the fact of the matter is, they can say what they want and pretend what they want to have happened, but it didn't. So there, for whatever reason, thank you, Bob H. Thank you. Uh, they went in there asking for a continuance. Okay, what the crock? Thank you. They went in asking for a continuance, and of course, the judge was like, no. They said they needed continuance to get discovery. And my attorney's like, discovery for what? You just said you have over 100+ hours. Like, what kind of discovery? No, we're the ones that would get discovery, not you. And then he went on about there's a problem with service. So that whole thing went into talk again. He's like, and I emailed both attorneys and Mr. King, so kindly supplied me with proof of service, but you know, uh Jessica's attorney didn't. And he's like, well, no, I why would I? You had my client. The only time an attorney would do that is if they accept it on behalf of that client, right? So in Barbecue's situation, her attorney accepted service. And my case, they didn't. I didn't have an attorney. I was served by the sheriff who updated proof of service on the docket. And if Lesniak needed proof of service, all he needed to do was go to the docket. But I think most of us had figured out that that's not what the actual plan was. The plan was to drag this as long as they could. For example, they never responded to our preliminary objections until they were served with a court date, which the judge is going to consider accepting or not. But obviously, we're claiming they shouldn't accept it because it's over, you know, a month late at this point, which creates a great prejudice against us. The judge pointed out they did not need to seek permission to amend their complaint. That was a stall tactic, which was highlighted by our attorneys to say as much. It was pointed out that they have at night media, which I don't even know currently exists. I thought they were at night intelligence group. But anyway, they have them and Dog the Bounty Hunter listed as the first two names of the plaintiffs. But yet there's no declarations from them. There's nothing. There's no affidavits. There's nothing. So I did notice now they're trying to claim that Dog's being threatened. And that's a way for them to tie Dog into something that he wasn't recognized within. They were denied their request to amend. My attorney then pointed out that with the request to amend, Nick was texting one of the names they wanted to add, which was Queen Bee, and stating that they had no intent on suing her. They just wanted to get a reaction out of somebody, which was pointed out to be misuse of the courts. The whole Castor bit was acknowledged. That was interesting. Barbecue's attorney said, I know Bruce Castor personally. I called him. He told me he never was, nor would he ever be involved in something like this. So he wants for Lasniak to address it with the courts. The judge is like, well, he's not recognized as an attorney on here. And it was pointed out, well, you don't need to enter an appearance of both attorneys, only one. So then it was brought up and asked by Lasniak, is Bruce Castor involved in this? His response was, he represents another plaintiff in a different situation in Texas, and he was consulted. He was consulted, but yeah, he gave permission for his name to be used, which means he gave permission for his name to be used improperly for the reason we all suspected. So let's give ourselves a round of applause for being smarter than they thought we were and figuring out that they frivolously put his name on there to intimidate. And he admitted it. He admitted that. Which, of course, led to my attorney writing him an email. So let's go ahead and read that. I noticed he took off the general. I guess a little respect was lost along the way. So he now writes, Dear Attorney Castor, what we heard this date in court and the above referenced matter was certainly revealing. Pursuant to the affirmation made by Attorney Lasniak's, no Scrivener's error took place in the drafting of the complaint and petition for injunction in this case. So this whole time they've been saying it's a Scrivener's error, it's a Scrivener's error. Lasniak admitted it was never a Scrivener's error, that it was done with intent and with purpose, which I hope goes in with the 1023.1 complaint. But, you know, that was very interesting to find out. Oh, Quinny, they're scrambling. They're now trying to accuse us of crimes, and we're going to get to the bottom of that in a minute, too. Attorney Lasniak asserted, and perhaps he misspoke, or my ears heard incorrectly, that you allowed your name to be used in this action. Thus, you had full knowledge your name and firm would be added to the top of this filing, all while claiming you do not represent the parties in this case. This is puzzling and problematic. Wow, things that make you go, You do not see an issue with what you allowed. Since I know partners at Marshall Dini or Ballard Spar or other firms, do you think they would just allow their firm names to be used if they were not representing the parties, or think doing so as you allowed is appropriate? You were caught, as we suspected. These plaintiffs and Attorney Lasniak used your name to scare these defendants. This is why these plaintiffs all had their talking points about the former Attorney General involved in this case. The former lawyer for now current President Trump. This is going to be big, etc. The use of your name was a clear fear tactic in a case that will go nowhere by people using this court for an improper purpose. Nothing shouts this more than what we heard today out of Attorney Lasniak's own mouth. They will be held accountable for that. Well, Midnight, he may not have, but Lasniak said he had permission to use his name. Can anybody tell me in any legal action where an attorney would say, hey, yeah, you can use my name. I'm not going to actually represent you, but you can use my name. That is so improper. It's like a huge deal. And I think the transcript from that court hearing needs to go right up to the Bar Association where they can see just how improper that was. Thank you, J-Dub. Now let's get into this whole they were live streaming. First off, it was a lousy attempt to distract. The fact that people that support the quote-unquote green team lied to the courts, not once did they interrupt the court hearing, but twice, on the basis that we were live streaming. Of course, they can't come up with a live stream because it never took place. So then it turns to, oh, the photos. Well, let me explain something to you. The second time the sheriff came in there, they took our phones. At that point, the the judge requested that we all write down our names and everything. Well, barbecue's attorney requested that. And then we had to open up our phones. Okay. We had to open up our phones and show them that we weren't live streaming and show them our galleries, our phone galleries, like your photo gallery. I didn't have any photos in my gallery. Okay. So what you're not going to do is take a fucking comment where somebody claims somewhere that they were able to hear a court proceeding and make that appear true. You still have to supply, you still have to make proof, and I do say make, because no doubt in my mind, you will be making something up to make it appear as if we did something illegal. So I know they're not very clear. You could clearly, what point do you think you could hear a court? At what point? So you can try to say that, but you have to present it. You have to present it. So nobody was. You couldn't hear shit, Sarah Lynn. You're lying. You're taking what they told you and you're trying to make it true. I'm glad you said that though, because I plan on showing what a liar you guys are. Believe it was 152 this audit count comes in. So for those who are unaware, the photo that was taken was to show that they were on their phones. No, you couldn't. The That's what the photo was taken for. It was to show they're on their phones. Look at them. If phones are illegal, why are they all on their phones? So the fact that that was why it was taken, and then you're sitting here saying it's illegal, well, guess what? I guess we all broke the law that day. Nobody was live streaming. Matter of fact, if we were live streaming, why would we be sitting there taking notes? We're literally sitting behind the judge. Okay? We're sitting behind the judge. The judge is making eye contact with us. We're right there. Believe me, they would have seen if we were live streaming. So they lie and they say it was live streaming. It wasn't. Then they say, oh, well, they took photos and we want to see how many angles you got of us. Believe me, Hung, there's not many angles to be had with you. Okay? I'm just saying. Secondly, it's not against civil procedure. Why don't you look up the law before saying as much? You're not allowed to take pictures and or videos during a court proceeding. This was prior to. Secondly, the judge was fully aware. The judge was they were fully aware that photos were taken. It was addressed that day. It was addressed in the courtroom. The judge said, "Okay, photos, any videos?" The answer was no. She said, "Okay." And our day went on. The fact that you're now trying to grasp to something and think you're going to have anybody get in trouble for this. Not only that, but the photo you're crying about where their attorneys were blocked out, but Joseph Lasniak wasn't. You don't have a right to privacy in the hallways of a courthouse. Thank you, Whoopsie Daisy. Believe me, I watch a lot of those. What are they called? The 1A community, the First Amendment community. Yeah, in the courtrooms, you don't have that right. Like in the courthouse, in the courtroom, you do. In the courthouse, you don't. But I mean, I was literally right in the eyesight of the judge, right there. Direct contact, made eye contact. She would have saw if we were recording. Not only that, but you bring up Discord. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever heard me state I don't have Discord. Matter of fact, if you don't believe that I've stated several times I don't have Discord, go look at my community post where I ask everybody, do you like when a creator has a Discord? And see my responses there too, where I say, I hate Discord. I don't have one. So don't accuse me of being on some type of, unlike Mr. Lasniak, who lied directly to the courts when he stated that he doesn't have social media. I don't lie to the people, okay? But Lasniak certainly stood in the courtroom and stated he does not have social media. He did. We showed our shit. We showed it. We had to show our galleries. Right, I don't have Discord. But anyway, this is where they're claiming. Let's hear it. And not only that, but I'm a moderator in Jay's. We knew that somebody was under my name. It was brought to my attention that my name was in Jay's chat, and Jay knows that I was texting with her separately. That's why this photo was taken. I don't know which one of them was impersonating me in a live stream, but one of them was. Do you see them on their phones? Here's Julia. She looks like she's doing something shady on her phone. Here's Nick. What's he doing on his phone? I thought phones were illegal in the courtroom. I was during these screenshots, I was coming up as gray when I should be blue. Matter of fact, at some point somebody says you should mod her, and we literally laughed because I was already a mod. And that was our proof that it wasn't me. Yeah, she looks a little shady there, doesn't she? So let's and we knew, that's why we took the photo to show proof. Yeah, we got the URL and everything. Honestly, it was Regina's background noise while she was on the panel. Because at first when I joined, I thought it was the courtroom. Then I realized it was a still photo. It was Regina's background. All right, we're going to hear it. Because obviously I couldn't listen. I was in court.
Hey, Nash, good to see you. Yep, we're 9 minutes into the hearing now. I'm not going to lie, like my stomach's in my throat.
I'm listening. I want to
hear
hear
it. We all feel like that. It's nerve-wracking, like, so.
Hey, Captain.
If they had you blocked, Angel.
If you're the praying kind, you know what to do. If you're not the praying...
Wait a minute. Captain Kurt said, Granny stopped me from searching for my lost joint. She rolled me another.
kind, and you're the good vibes kind, you know what to do. Do all the things. All the things are always useful.
Well, they'll have to prove that it was
Thank you, Karma is here. She says, you got this, ladies. Stand strong. We all stand with you.
Thanks a lot, Regina.
Thank you. I'm loving seeing this support. I mean, I really am.
That's exactly what they did, Barbecue. That's what I said.
The more positivity we put out there.
That's what I said. Show that there's a live stream taking place. Show it. You couldn't. You couldn't do it. But they took something and ran with it. They took commenters, I guess, confused that they could hear a court proceeding, which again, they're an intelligence group, right? Go ahead and enhance the audio and have it play in our attorneys' voices and Lasniak's. You can't. You won't, because it wasn't. I don't care. You can think that you hear Santa Claus behind me right now. Doesn't fucking mean he's in this room with me. Yeah, we were playing along, Captain Kurt.
There, the better.
Look at them like they're the mafia.
Yeah, they're in court right now, Kurt.
And then you know what else I found? I found it amazing that what word did they use? Horrendous, that somebody going to court had photos taken. I forget what word they used. You know what I found to be horrendous? The fact that we had court off the back of a missing child. What do you guys think's more horrendous? The fact that we even had court? The fact that we even had a court hearing on the basis that we are interfering with the disappearance, the search efforts for the disappearance of Sebastian, or the fact that these guys had a few little photos taken. And I don't know who wrote this scribble, but you should go back over. It's almost as bad as your filing. The amount of misspelled words and run-on sentences, and must be the same scrivener of the filing. But yeah, and the fact that you're now saying there's coordinated attacks against Dog the Bounty Hunter. I thought he ran like an elite task force. What? Unauthorized individuals not only gained access to the proceedings, but also disseminated the events to the global community on various social platforms. Your photo was taken. Your photo was taken. That's it. That's all. What? Here it is. Oh, repulsive. They find it repulsive. They find it repulsive that their photos were taken. You know what I find repulsive? The entire filing. That's what I find repulsive. The entire filing. Okay. What do you guys find more repulsive? Their photos being taken in a public space, or the fact that they filed this entire drivel off the back of a missing child? Put a 1 for the missing child, put a 2 for their poor photos being shown. Yeah, I found it repulsive having to look at these people, if I'm being quite frank, but repulsive. So you can try to amp it up. You can try to fabricate whatever you want. I'm going to make my own police report. I'm not going to be framed. I'm not going to be accused of any more crimes than you've already accused me of. Again, my phone was opened in front of the sheriff, where he can confirm that I had not a singular photo of you inside that courtroom. And that's it. That's all. You're not going to accuse me of broadcasting. They should grass down at their socks and fix them. Holy shit. These people look like they got dressed in the dark. Sue me for it. But I want to hear this background noise of where you hear a court.
Time they should have had.
No, we don't have confirmation, Butter. I'm waiting for Granny to be in here.
Yeah.
Say, we don't have confirmation for sure because she knows it's not me. But look who's on their phones.
I'm just warming her seat. I farted on it and everything. It's beautiful.
Oh, gee, golly.
Hey,
thanks,
hey.
sweet.
Smells like
Ho,
flowers.
ho. These clowns have got to go.
Where do you guys hear this court?
Cume alligator for 24 months, 2 years. They are a joke.
Hey, Sarah Lynn, can you timestamp me on where your ears portray, deceive you? Are you also the person that hears the audio that came from the mic that was in the bush? Do you also hear that? If, and it's a big if, dog received a threat, I would guess it came from an anonymous account. And I think if they dug into the IP, we all know who it would come back to. He's done it before. Well, and I agree, Kodo. I absolutely agree. Listen, we're allowed to take photos. It's not illegal. Again, look up the law. I took a photo of them. It's not illegal. They're not on their phones? Okay. Okay. You're not going to gaslight me. Does anybody see Nick's phone right here? Anybody see Julia's phone? And that's just one photo. Because they know it had no substance. And the words of my attorney, the entire filing was AI. It was 100%, or this is what he said, it was 100% artificial and 0% intelligence. Thank you so much, Wolfsy. There's no legal or moral reason for the injunction. It's disgusting any way you look at it. Amen. Amen. Yeah, that's it, Julia. Everybody's so mad at you because we failed at destroying you. I wish that we had a trial where we could present our evidence, because one of the first things I would present for Julia is that lovely email you wrote me on September 5th, just a week and a half before you put your name next to these initials. And then I would play the videos of your co-plaintiff, Brittany Jackson, where she distributes an email that you allege came from your mother, which is the first and only time your mother was ever brought up throughout your entire fucking circus act you have performed on the back of this missing child. I would take the many times you sucked my ass apologizing to me in chat rooms, and I would show the judge just how fraudulent your behavior is. It looks like it, doesn't it, Karma? I think she is. I think she is. They're failed filing. Now they're trying to okay, listen, damn it, we can't get them for RICO. Now we got to try to get them for this. Shut up. Tell the sheriff where I live. I'll wait for him. Matter of fact, I'll be there today, actually. Don't you worry. I'm going to turn myself in, guys. Anyway, where the
Joke.
fuck's
How
this
do you
hearing?
not come prepared? Good
I
question.
will tell you this, though. I'm super excited because denying discovery is leaning me to think that, yes, great.
Well, here's the thing, right? They were denied discovery because they didn't have a right to discovery. Okay? They have their discovery. They filed this. Don't you think they should file all of this before? Why would you file all this if you didn't have your proof? What kind of discovery do you think you need? It would be on our end to get discovery. Hey, Kathy, thank you. Not yours. Anybody want to come up? You can. I don't even know what part to listen to, but I know whatever you hear, it has nothing to do with a live stream. It has nothing to do with the court proceeding. I think what we all actually hear is your fragile egos being broken. Listen very closely. You guys hear that? Yeah, it's the sad sound of insecurities. Bless them. Bless them. Hey, Jay.
Hey, I just want to say that I think the background noise that people are talking about, I don't know why in the world anybody would think it was court.
They're
But
desperate.
no, Regina was up on panel and her husband was in the background. And sometimes she muted, sometimes she didn't. So someone said they heard a male voice, and that's Regina's husband. But I don't know why anyone would even think it was court, because I clearly said I was waiting for a text when you got out.
Right.
So
Right. And
when
again,
this
here's
person,
Nick on his
Granny,
phone.
came in saying, oh, this is going on, like Lesniak struggling or whatever that was, like,
She
I
knew it
knew
wasn't
that
me.
wasn't you. You know what I mean?
We had the text messages to prove it with timestamps and all. She knew that wasn't me.
We were texting at the same time. I'm like, I was waiting for her to reply and she wasn't even reading my texts.
Right. And then I looked over and I saw her say, hey, that's not you in my chat, because obviously she's not dumb and she clicked it and it didn't go back to a channel with my subscriber count. And I said, let them stay. So,
oh, you know what else? Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but Sluice, yeah. I also have sound bites when I get a super chat or like someone subscribes or becomes a member. And I think someone gave a bunch of memberships. So you might have heard Elon Musk in the very background going, thank you for making it. Thank you.
oh,
So it's
Well-
very faint because I turned it down because I get a lot of memberships. Like it's really loud and over. So I have it really faint. So that might have been it too.
oh, okay. I know they told you all that Trump's incoming administration would be working with them, but I could promise you they're not. So no, you just heard a sound clip, not actual
was
Elon
Elon
Musk in the
Musk.
courtroom. Yeah. Don't run
Elon
with that.
wasn't-
Like, he was there for us.
Elon wasn't there. Wow. That's what people
Nick
are
is
saying.
not
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
Are they claiming Nick's praying here? That's ridiculous.
Oh, Lord have mercy. No, that's a phone. I zoomed in on it yesterday as well. He's got his phone. It's like his left hand. He's got the phone in his right hand. You can see his fingers wrapped around it. It's in his right hand.
Yeah, and honestly, I wouldn't doubt it was him texting in your chat. I don't know for sure. I'm not going to accuse him of doing it, but I don't know for sure. But
yeah, I don't know.
it
who
looks
that
like
was.
he's texting.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's illegal to be on our phones, wouldn't they also be held in contempt? Do you know what I mean? Like,
It's
are
just
they
so
not on their
funny.
phones?
Right. The picture shows them on their phones and they're like, oh, she's like,
Phones weren't allowed as they're on their phones.
like, no, there was no way to like get. Okay, Little Boston said I heard background noise, but I knew for sure it wasn't a court hearing.
Yeah. So here's the thing. They can hear whatever they want to hear. I mean, again, these are people that hear Chris and Katie's voices in a mic that came from a bush. Let them hear whatever they want to hear. The person is, you have to prove it.
Uh-oh. She left. She gone. Yeah, you can totally tell. They're both, and Julia's holding hers at a weird name. You back?
I'm back.
Welcome
hate
back.
you, Mike. You have to, your audio's breaking.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. I don't care if you find me credible or not. I don't give a fuck. I'm not here to I don't care. What I'm not going to do is be accused of a crime, point blank, period, by somebody who is known for framing people. That's it. That's all. I will make my own police report. I will clear my own name because I'm not going to be shocked when it comes up like, oh, these claims. No, I'm going to let them know. I feel like I'm being framed by somebody who's known to frame people. End of.
Am I still
Happy
roboting?
camper. No, you're better. Happy camper is not a happy camper. Right. I would never risk that. Again, I was sitting right, like, I wish I could, I wish she doesn't. I pray she doesn't. Let's see if she can keep to that. How can I explain this? Let me see if maybe this will help. So if you look at where these guys are, right, in this photo, there's this pure thing, right? Over here is 1, 2, 3 chairs. Then there's another row like this, like these pewers or whatever. And that's where Angel Chips Delco was. Myself, Barbecue, and Barbecue's friend were sitting in the 3 chairs. Why they didn't sit in the chairs behind Lasniak, I don't know. We sat there because we're defendants. I wanted to be in the eyesight of the judge, and I was. Believe me, the judge saw us. I mean, if anybody was recording or live streaming, I'm the one that told everybody you're not going to be able to live stream. You're not going to be able to record. There's not going to be a Zoom link. That is illegal to record and have cameras in the courtroom. So no, there's going to be no recording. I'm the one that said that. I'm also the one that said if you get the transcripts, you're not going to be allowed to put them on the internet. So they can fabricate whatever they want. We just saw them walk back in. No, I agree. They're just trying to do anything, Mary Mac. These people try to take away my freedom of speech. They're not going to be successful at that. So now they're trying to take away my freedom altogether. And I'm not okay with it. I don't think any of you would be okay with it. Timestamp 158. You might be on my side or whatever, but I don't appreciate.
To be honest,
I don't appreciate being accused of a crime. 158 is her intro.
I think she means 1 hour, 58 minutes.
Okay.
Oh fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say.
To be honest, it's a desperate grasp because they have nothing. All right, let's hear it, Jay.
Loop was empty. Who knows? I don't know.
That noise?
So it never happened, eh?
Hold on.
Yep.
I hear it.
Let me know if you
it's
guys
just a-
see Granny. Oh, there she is.
Ready? This is what they're saying is the noise. It's Regina's background.
Well, as you can
Right.
see, hold on, pause it. See
Is
where
that
it
you?
says,
Oh,
see where it says new clickers, and it says petty AF.
yeah.
That
yeah,
you can
you a
also
month.
you can also hear Elon go, "Thank you for making it happen. Thank you."
So it's Elon.
It's Elon. Then you hear Regina's background noise.
Right.
And we was having audio issues yesterday too. She had to hop down and back up a couple times because she had buzzing. But
Well, and here's the other thing, Jay. If I was recording, why were both of us sitting there with pen and paper? Right. Why would we jeopardize a case that we know that we're going to be successful at, even if they don't approve the anti-SLAPP? We then take that up to Superior Court. And you think that this would ever get past Superior Court? No. And then let's say we decide, okay, she doesn't approve the anti-SLAPP, so we're going to go on preliminary objections. They won't ever make it through that either. Like I'm confident. So why would I risk this case by committing a crime within the courthouse? No. How dare you?
play Elon again.
All right. I promise Elon was not there for them.
Right?
No,
No, it doesn't.
Not that we should be.
Right?
No,
No, it doesn't.
Not that we.
Can you play that right now? Or is that only when you get the clips?
No, I have the sound bite. Hold on.
I did just see that disappear. That is really weird. Hell on heels.
What? Here.
Your robot-y again a little bit. Oh, thank you, Purple Dragon. Message if possible. Okay.
Better now?
No.
God almighty. How about now?
That's better. Thank you so much, Purple. I really appreciate that. And I am sorry for all the stress this has put all of you through as well. I mean, it didn't just impact myself and Barbecue. It's a lot of stress on everybody. Well, Erica J, I mean, all joking aside, how do we know that they didn't plant little fucking cameras somewhere?
I don't trust motherfuckers.
I don't trust them either. The only one person has ever been found guilty of framing people, and it sure wasn't me. I know you're right, Eric, because they just want attention. You're so right. That's why I'm just letting them know. Don't worry, I'll be turning myself in. Don't you worry. I will walk myself into the sheriff's office my local police, and hell, if you want, I'll even call the state police. You let me know how far you want to go. So yeah, this is Elon Musk. Sorry to tell you.
Rather
sending
that Granny,
right now.
he served Granny. That doesn't make any sense.
And that's Regina's background.
Would
That's her
say that
husband.
you know, or is denying rather that Granny
Like her TV.
he served Granny. That doesn't make
You heard a door open. Do you think you hear doors open during court? Again, they're an intelligence group. Clean up the audio and prove that it was our court proceeding. Okay? And then to cry that our attorneys' faces were blocked out, but Lasniak's wasn't. Oh, wow. Again, you're in public. I don't know what to tell you. And I really don't care. Air Force Vet, thank you so much. So was that Lady Regina's background noise? That lady works my last nerve on panel. Well, I don't know. It
I
sounds
think
like
it
her
was
husband.
no, it was her because she ended up muting at certain points, and you don't hear it. I didn't say anything to her because it didn't really bother me. But
Right.
yeah, he coughed a few times. He talked a couple times, but it was nothing major. But I think he was watching TV. Honestly,
Right.
I didn't think anything of it at the time.
No, because nobody would imagine that they would go on to accuse us of a crime like this. Nobody would ever fathom that.
Listen, this is what you're hearing.
For making it happen. I want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
Did you hear it?
Yeah. So that's what you're hearing. Relax,
Over and
everybody.
over.
There's not a live stream. They are grasping at straws because they know that, their plan was to go in and ask for a continuance. And the judge said, no, you don't get a continuance. You don't get the right to ask for discovery. And then, the one attorney spoke and said the whole point of an anti-SLAPP is to stop having to go to the discovery process, which is the most expensive. The judge didn't even read the filing before having us in there that day, which is a little disheartening because obviously she doesn't know everything that's going on. All she had was our objections. So once she reads this all, I mean, I'm sure she will know. Yeah, absolutely. We have a right to speak on it. Sure do. And again, look up PA law. It is not illegal to take photos before court started. The judge was made aware at that moment that this photo took place, and she didn't care. She went on. She went on with her hearing. If anything, they were trying to distract from the fact. They were trying to distract from the fact that, they were not getting
Funny
her
how
way.
it was timed too, like 15 minutes apart.
Right. No, we didn't get her decision. We're waiting to hear.
Look at Ethan. He said there was a whole hour or so of Jay's cooking channel until court was over, and then we could get more updates after court. We literally talked about food for an hour. How dare they say it was a live stream?
Right. You even said, I'm waiting for Granny to come out to tell us what's going on.
Over
You
and
say
over.
that.
Yep. Kept looking at my phone. I'm like, she hasn't read my text yet.
Right.
It's all in the live.
Right. We would have been in a lot of trouble. It would have been handled right then and there. That's it. That's all. So they can go on and fabricate whatever you want. I'm sure it'll be used in our countersuits. The fact that you are once again accusing us of a crime, and I'm not going to have it. I will be making my own report. That's it. That's all. End of.
We were literally talking about Irish roadkill.
No, Luke. Right. Like you didn't. Yeah. This is all over our photo.
And you know what? It's all chaptered in there. Everything is there. I didn't edit anything out, so they can go fuck themselves.
Right. If you did, the chat wouldn't be there. And Air Force even said, you said that I didn't read it. Jay said you didn't read it. So,
yeah, I did. I'm like, it's unread. They're still in there. And then what happened actually was when it was over, I found out because people were in Queen Bee's chat and they were coming in my chat giving updates. So yeah, we didn't even know. And we weren't confirming anything until we heard from you. So when you guys called in, like when you were done, Barbecue called in on Queens. I literally played a little bit of that so everybody could hear you guys.
Yeah.
Because you guys were both talking. We didn't have any updates until after Granny or Barbecue went on Queens. Then you came over here to mine. Yeah. So They can F off. They lost. They look like fools. Julia looks like an idiot.
Right. My attorney's thoughts on this is it's nothing but grasping for air. Nothing's going to come of it, just like nothing's going to come of their claims prior to this. And that, again, we took the photo to prove that they were all on their phones. End of. So if we are, if we broke the law by being on our phones, well, so did all of you. You're all on your phones in the photo, ironically. So I'm not worried about it. I find it aggravating that they're once again accusing me of a crime. But other than that, I don't care. We don't know, Sassy Hound. We don't know. We were trying to keep track of them to find out. So that's it. That's all. I don't know.
Care. They can say I had the picture up first. Sue me.
It's not illegal. We're allowed to have the photo. This is before court began. You're allowed to take pictures. When court's in session, then you can't take pictures. Again, these people don't know anything about civil. Obviously, they don't know much about PA civil rules. If they did, they would know that what they're saying is simply asinine. Sophia, thank you. I'll let you know what it says, though, if you want to know. The judge has the authority to direct whether broadcast equipment may be used.
I think the bottom line is like that was done on the record during the hearing.
Right.
I don't think anything will come of it, but this is what they're using as a distraction as to what was argued in court. Don't want to talk about it.
Right. They want to distract from that with this.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right.
And that's why I think we shouldn't talk about it. I think you should talk about what actually happened if you want.
During
You know
the
what
court.
I mean?
Yeah, you're right, because this is just stupid to argue this. Again, the only time it is against the courthouse law is if it's during a court proceeding. And this was prior to, which is why when the judge found out it was prior to, she went on with her hearing. It was more ridiculous that these guys interrupted the courtroom twice, lying that we were live streaming. Notice they had to amplify that lie, though. Like, oh, they're live streaming. Why didn't you simply say, oh, if they're commenting in a live stream, right? No, of course. Instead, they say that we're live streaming because they knew that would get more attention. So all they did was take away from the hearing. And again, that's the green team trying to distract the courts from the court hearing, because at that point they were desperate. They were desperate to try to make us appear any way they could. That's it. That's all.
That's all they got. Well, Granny, I'm going to hop down. I'm going to let you have the floor and talk about whatever you want to talk about. But I just wanted to say, that was not court audio. All you have to do is watch the live. So.
Right. Thank you. No, it's ridiculous. It was Elon Musk's her clip, and then it was Regina's background.
Blame it on Elon. All right. Thanks, Granny. Good job yesterday.
Thank you.
All right. See ya.
Bye. I don't think it was smart to have that photo. Oh, I don't care, Georgia. You don't have to think it's smart. It's not illegal. Being smart and illegal are two different things. Yeah, that was great. My attorney made a point to say, that, Brittany calls him a sleazy back alley, knee breaking attorney because he's doing his job. It's ridiculous. And then he said, I'm not going to sue her for it, but I guess he could. They're just grasping at air is what they're doing. They're grasping. It is not illegal to take photos. It's not illegal to comment. It's not illegal for any of that. If it was, they would be, I've had it with you. You can just get the fuck out of my chat. You type it. What are you going to do about it? What do you think's going to happen anyway? Don't you think we'd already be arrested? I mean, get the fuck out of here. Take the L and walk away. That's it. That's all. You being alive during court, they're beating that up too, right? That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No laws were broken. The they already, the judge was aware that photos were taken. She didn't care. Sorry to break your hearts. There was a lot of L's taken. Matter of fact, I really like the part where, again, Lasniak admitted that he lied. And misused Castor's name. It wasn't a Scrivener's error. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys recall them all claiming it was a Scrivener's error. It was a simple... Didn't I just hear a recording of Brittany saying it was a simple mistake? Anybody? Anybody else recall hearing her say that? Even Bruce Castor himself. I recall that. Said it was a simple mistake. Yeah, okay. So now we find out it wasn't a simple mistake. It wasn't a Scrivener's error. It was a sincere misuse of the court system is what it was. Improper use of somebody's name. Right, right. So we're going to follow up on that the same way these people should follow up on inhalers, but, you know. Right. Not only that, Jay, but wouldn't you have been like, okay, so here, we got the court playing. Everybody be quiet. Let's listen. Yes, yes. I mean, come on. Right, harmless, Petcher, harmless. Egregious misuse of the courts. His biggest argument was poor old Seth Rogers. Let's acknowledge that. Your Honor, they called this poor grieving father a P word. A P word. You can't produce where I've ever called him a P word. Yeah, they checked their phones as well. But that endangered him at work because he's a deputy sheriff, Your Honor. And that put them at risk. We have to work something out, Slews, if that's going to be the case. We still have to come up with like a whole second agreement and signatures and you know, the whole like thing you do with attorneys. So I don't know. I'm hoping to retain POs. So he goes on to say that, right? This poor guy who's just grieving his father, and that we said, what if he has something to do with his son's disappearance? Matter of fact, they said that I called him a murderer, but I never did. But I'll tell you what he did try to present. He quotes me. Does anybody remember the day where I said, I have never accused Seth Rogers of being involved in his son's disappearance? But for this one day only, I'm going to be petty and I'm going to say, what if? He quoted me, but he only quoted the part where I said, for this one day only, I'm going to be petty. And I'm going to say, and then the rest of the sentence didn't even make sense. Okay. I got to delete that because that's kind of racially motivated. And then like, it wasn't my correct sentence. It wasn't it. It wasn't what took place. It wasn't real. They once again chopped up what I said to make it appear some type of way. But if I've been saying this man took his son's life, why would I say for this one day only, I'm going to say what if? Okay? Not only that, but he's a suspect, a self-admitted suspect. I'm going to play you this. I'm going to read this email, and then we're going to get back to that, Salty. I'm going to store you so I can remember. Me too, Sassy. So this is an email that my attorney wrote out. Dear Attorney Lasniak, you made several affirmations today in court that are not factually accurate in the above referenced matter. First, you made note that Seth Rogers was a deputy sheriff. Have you spoken to your plaintiff, Seth Rogers? May I pause really quick, too, and say that Joseph Lasniak could not remember Sebastian's name. He stuttered and then just called him Rogers. Let that sink in. He did not remember Sebastian's name. Yeah, let's get the thumbs up a little bit. Upon all information believed, Seth Rogers is not a deputy sheriff. Moreover, you should ask when he left his employment at the facility he worked or when he last worked at said facility. How long has he not worked? Asserting that he is a deputy sheriff to the court was a misrepresentation that needs to be corrected. This was stated to supposedly add weight to baseless claims being made that he cannot even attribute when they were made and by whom. He's not a deputy sheriff. He's not even working. He hasn't been back to work since Sebastian disappeared, and we know that because they FOIA requested after they lied that he was in a fight and broke his wee little glasses. So go on and lie and say that he's currently working. He's a deputy sheriff. So do I, nonsense. But they're, have a good day, I'm a puffin. Their contract is up in March, so let's see if they re-sign it. Secondly, in that regard, you should immediately retract the claims asserted that Plaintiff Rogers was called the P word. It never occurred. Unless, of course, you can specifically pinpoint in your 2,200 hours of podcasts that were held in your envelope, where that statement you claims, where the statements you claim were made. Lasniak had this little envelope, and he was begging the judge to take it, and she said no. She said no, you don't get to do that. Let me read that again since I messed it up. I'm sorry. Secondly, in that regard, you should immediately retract the claims asserted that Plaintiff Rogers was called the P word. It never occurred, unless, of course, you can specifically pinpoint in your 2,200 hours of podcasts that were held in your envelope where the statements you claim were made. Be very wary of one of your plaintiff's alternate video as well. Note, it has come to my attention there are CPS reports on your client. While this office has never seen such documents, nor if they existed will we review, same absent court approval, they can be ordered to be produced. As a result, if necessary, meaning if you survive the motions to dismiss, we will seek court order disclosure for in-camera review. You can tell your client, you can guess which one, these reports can be made discoverable. Furthermore, this client should also be made aware this is not a federal RICO case. I'm assuming that's Bester over there, Betty. I'm assuming that's you. I agree, Starfish. That was so obviously a setup. Next it states, in any event, you do know dating someone underage when you are of age can get someone called that word. Further note, his now public figure status based on his monetized YouTube channel. Why, as a criminal defense attorney that has detailed experience in certain areas, would you expose this individual to discovery when you fully know he has not been ruled out as a suspect by law enforcement, along with any others that he shared custody with of the missing teenager? It's a great I've been a wrench for Jay. That's a great question there, isn't it? Maz, I want you to delete these people that don't have an IQ. Okay? like this one here, out. If these people are the same people that believe a fabricated over 38 times mess with audio to make it appear that Chris and Katie can be heard committing a crime, yet they're walking free amongst us, then block them. We don't have time for your type of stupidity needs to go back to the channels that struggle to complete sentences. Over here, we are adults. We are aware of the real legal system, and we don't play stupid. Take your stupidity elsewhere. Thank you. And don't interrupt me again. I'm fucking reading. Thirdly, you made a claim your client was doxxed yesterday. Let me pause for just a minute and tell you all. Would you believe that Attorney Lasniak said to the judge, Your Honor, you may not be aware of what doxing is, because I just recently found out. Well, Mr. Lasniak, let me alert you to what doxing is in Pennsylvania then, because you should have looked that up. You should have looked it up before you accused us of doxing. Of me showing a public, whatchamacallit, well, hell, Google Maps doxes is all, I guess. You're going to have to produce proof that I ever showed her house and then tell me how that's called doxing. If anything can be found on the internet, which includes addresses, it's not doxing. Doxing would be putting out somebody's social security, putting out somebody's place of employment with the intent of them being harassed, putting out things that are not publicly available. That's it. That's all. So anyway, he goes on to say, he told the judge, I just found out what doxing is. So anyway, he says, thirdly, you made a claim your client was doxed yesterday. Kindly check the doxing laws. But more importantly, you in fact doxed your client by putting his parole information on a website that contains your non-filed exhibits. Under your standard, you should add yourself to RICO. What's wrong, Sophia? Nobody's upset with you. Right, Nick doxed me. He also doxed my family. See, because they tried saying, Mr. Lasniak tried lying and saying, I posted Nick's parole. He said probation, but it's parole. But he said that I doxed. That I posted his probation officer's phone number. Can anybody tell me where I ever posted that phone number? No, but I'll tell you where they posted it. They posted it in their non-filed exhibits. Remember when Julia said all their exhibits are sealed? You got no exhibits. The courts denied them. Anyway, let me read that again. Let me put that a little bit higher. Let's make sure. And we do know Lasniak is getting these emails because he acknowledged it. Right here. You made a claim your client was doxxed yesterday. Kindly check the doxing laws. But more importantly, you in fact doxed your client by putting his parole information on a website that contains your non-filed exhibits. Under your standard, you should add yourself to RICO. Not only that, but they had a email that was called, I don't know, I think I've been doxxed at Gmail. Oh, you're back again? I'm going to talk to you again like that. Get the fuck out of my chat. They're not my subs. I know who my subs are. Okay? I know exactly who my subs are. Thank you. You do recall that, Nice Star. I appreciate you saying that. Does anybody else recall me sitting there telling everybody, do not call this poor parole officer? That they have more than one client, and every single call they get, the poor lady has to document, whether it's ridiculous or not, and all you're doing is wasting her precious time and giving her an overburdened caseload. You guys remember that, right? Thank you. Okay. Goes on to say, fourth, it is my belief you asserted you do not use social media. It has come to my attention that you are active on X under the law offices of Joseph P. Lasniak. This should also be corrected with the court, but not as problematic as the aforementioned. So yes, Attorney Lasniak lied to the courts, saying that he does not have social media. Right. I appreciate you guys remembering that. You said it more than one time. You said it several days ago. Thank you. Also, here's this fact that a lovely sub discovered. Well, let me finish this email and then I'll read you guys that one. In the meantime, can you guys please hit the thumbs up? The rest of the email says, additionally, you should warn your two clients that you are beholden to about creating a false image to wrongly accuse the defendants of taking a picture of the judge that you seem to be requested on X. I will refer your own knowledge of at least one such individual, and you can use your own words from a podcast about, and I paraphrase, how this individual pushes the line. Interesting analysis, to say the least. Lastly, it was admitted in court of a picture being taken, and it was noted before court commenced. Your clients were on their phones as well at that time. To add to the insanity, did anyone from your side record the proceedings? Not live streaming. Again, rumors are rumors and are given no weight or thought unless proof exists. Thank you in advance for your prompt attention here too. We expect you to correct the record forthwith. Now, this was pointed out to me. In the filing, there is a date that is incorrect in their timeline. They say that you made threats to go to Lasniak's office on September 18th, but it was actually the 25th. The reason they moved this is because Nick's parole officer called him in on September 19th. They needed your live streams to be part of the catalyst for Nick to be called in and given restrictions, because it was the enterprise working together to get calls to his parole officer. We can actually pull up, because they submitted it with their exhibits, the 2 times that Nick was called in to his parole officer, and they were before I ever had words with Nick. Barbecue also first appeared on QB's on 9/11. And she mentioned then that she was raising legal funds after getting a cease and desist. But the injunction says she didn't get one until after 9/17. Their timeline is all jacked up. But the stream where he came in your chat and you spoke to Lasniak was not 9/18. It was 9/25. They wanted people to believe that you were so mad that you were threatening the attorney. So, of course, you helped get Nick shut down. But if that stream happened after his restrictions, it'd be hard to tie you into the enterprise to give them their second RICO defendant. So on 9/25, Nick comes in your chat and you tell his ass off. On 9/26 is the stream about BJ's memorial. Emmy Joe somehow behind the scenes with Nick and them, and she was buttering up BJ the idea of doing something about you. So basically, they fabricated their timeline to make it appear that I'm one of the reasons. And I'm gonna grab it and read it to you. Give me just a second. Get out of my face now. So they're trying to frame that on me. But here it is, right? This is where Joseph Lasniak refers to himself, which is weird because he's not a plaintiff. But he says, I experienced a particularly troubling incident when Granny's watching stated during a live stream that she was driving to Media, Pennsylvania with the intent to visit my office. This was perceived as a threatening action. But Joseph Lasniak, you're a liar, because during our phone call, you told me not once, not twice, but 3 times you did not feel threatened. Matter of fact, you then gave me the address to your office and the phone number and told me to stop by anytime. But I digress. We'll go on. Then he says, on September 19th, plaintiff Dog the Bounty Hunter, accompanied by co-counsel Bruce Castor, went on the news, and then he quotes Castor again, which was used for improper purposes. But down here, that same day, defendant, Granny's watching, hosted hosted a 2-hour and 42-minute live stream dissecting the interview of Dog and Bruce Castor. That's where Dog said he would take me behind the shed, which I perceive as a threat. I think you all would too. But at this point, while they were on national television, plaintiff Nick Hassafrescu was summoned to the Pennsylvania Department of Probation and Parole due to an alarming flood of false reports concerning his involvement in the case. These reports spiraled into outlandish allegations, suggesting that Mr. Hassafrescu had made repeated contact with Christopher and Kate Proudfoot, and even more bizarrely, that he had traveled to Tennessee with Dog the Bounty Hunter in an attempt to kidnap individuals and inject them with truth serum, all in a supposed effort to extract confessions. This fantastical narrative, worthy of a conspiracy theory, prompted unwarranted actions by the authorities despite the absolute falsity of the claims. Put a 1 in the chat If you all recall them coming out stating that they were going to use truth serum on people to get a confession. Not only that, but then go ahead and drop a 2 if you recall Nick making a title to make it appear he was in Tennessee. Right. They said it. They said it. They said it. And Dog has said it in other cases, and I can prove it. Look at all the ones. So you might be able to fool a small group of people, but you can't fool the masses. We're not your useful idiots over here. Matter of fact, let me pull up the other. So ridiculous. He goes on to say more stuff. Hold on. Stop it. Then he goes, as a result of these unfounded reports, Mr. Hasafrasu was slapped with extraordinarily restrictive and irrational conditions by the parole board. First, he was forbidden from working with any law enforcement agencies without explicit written permission from the parole board itself. With the order stating, there are no exceptions. A true and correct copy of the order from the Pennsylvania Parole Board, barring plaintiff Nick Hasafrasu from working with law enforcement, is attached here too. The absurdity of this restriction is self-evident. Despite Mr. Hasafrasu's role in assisting, listen to this part, role with assisting with the search for a missing child, he was effectively barred from collaborating with the very entities tasked with finding that child, local law enforcement and federal agencies. So Delaware County Police are working to find Sebastian? Such a restriction, particularly in a high-stakes situation like this, not only handicaps efforts to locate Sebastian, but also raises serious questions about the motivation behind the enforcement of these orders. Then take that up with the parole board. How are you going to put that shit on me? Added to the insanity, a second order was issued barring Mr. Hasafrasu from contacting Christopher Proudfoot and his family in any form, directly or indirectly. Well, it seems you violated that, having hung as your mouthpiece, but okay. Via social media, phone calls, texts, or even through third parties. So when you're logged in under at night, okay. The language of the order was as severe as the first. There are no exceptions. A true and correct copy of the order from the Pennsylvania Parole Board, barring Nick from any contact with Christopher Proudfoot and his family, is attached here too. So again, you doxed that information. As noted by plaintiffs Hong, what makes this all the more incredulous is the fact that there had been minimal contact between Mr. Hasafrasu and the Proudfoots. No more than 3 calls in total, and in an ironic twist, several of those calls had been initiated by Christopher Proudfoot himself. Hasafrasu now faces severe restrictions based on nothing more than a web of fabrication spun by individuals with intent on diverting attention from the real search for Sebastian Rogers. Show that you're even involved in any search for Sebastian. How would taking away your ability to contact the Proudfoots stop you? He tried to lie to them and they didn't fall for it, hence why they put the restrictions. He's not key in finding Sebastian. He has nothing to do with it. I mean, at what point? At what freaking point was Nick a huge factor in finding Sebastian? It's fucking insulting to claim. Anyway, check this out. Turns out Dog the Bounty Hunter likes to threaten Truth Serum a lot. Dog the Bounty Hunter, I'd use Truth Serum on Stephen Avery. That's interesting.
Are you involved in Making the Murderer case at all? Like making the Murderer, the Netflix documentary about Brendan Dassey and
the father and
yeah.
The father and little Nicholas and Sean, those ones. Oh, but they never said it, y'all. They never said Truth Serum. Everybody lied.
I saw they released him.
They're releasing Brendan Dassey.
I saw that.
Do you think they should release Stephen Avery too? The guy that apparently he was charged with killing Teresa Hallback. Like,
no, I don't think so. I think if there's any question with DNA today,
yeah.
and you can prove that the guy's innocent, of course he has to be released.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Hey, Miss W. Mm-hmm.
And there'll be more and more each year as we get more technology to be released, okay, for rape, murder, stuff like that. But to be soft on those guys, you know, there's violent crime. Thank God America's doing violent crime.
Thank God America's doing violent crime. Thank God America's doing violent crime. Violent crime. Like what a fool.
People need locked up.
But apparently the DNA was challenged because they said they could have messed with it.
But they had a confession. Remember that? He 3 or 4 times he had admitted doing it. So you
have to realize that states are not
I don't think he
gonna
ever
waste
admitted doing it.
Yeah, he did.
resources
Yeah, he did.
When someone
Yeah, I
admits
know.
it.
Yeah.
States are not gonna waste resources when someone admits to doing it. Okay.
I think Brendan kind of admitted doing it, but Stephen Avery didn't.
Oh, I don't know. I thought Avery said he finally did. You hypnotize them all and find out.
There you
Put
go.
them all on live.
There you go. Who recalls at Night Media saying they were going to hypnotize folks? Put a 1 in the chat if you recall it.
Put them all on live boxes, hypnotize them, we find out. You hypnotize them all and find out.
You hypnotize them all and find out. Okay.
Put them all on live boxes, hypnotize them, we find out. What a waste of our money that we got to take them to trial. Put them under truth serum.
Oh, and there's the truth serum. There's the truth serum part. So we know who wrote that press release. These guys really think they have the ability. And then remember Nick doubled down. Hey, Pecan Pie. Remember Nick doubled down and said that he would have the University of Penn Hospital inject the truth serum, as if a reputable hospital would ever do that. Anybody else recall that? Okay. But here it is, so.
Put them under truth serum and find out. Someone killed your baby, you want to know? I'm going to give them a shot at truth serum and find out.
Or lie detector, you know?
Yeah.
Or a lie detector, sir. We don't have to go as far as truth serum, which is illegal in the United States, but okay. So, again, stop lying. You're lying to the courts. You lied throughout the declarations. I wanted to give Lasniak the benefit of the doubt that he didn't realize he was being lied to. But when I made eye contact with him, I realized he's as in my opinion, sleazy. You know, he even said that. He said, Your Honor, I tried warning them to say in my opinion. Yeah, on the broadcast that you responded saying Plaintiff Lasniak denies the allegations that he was ever on that podcast, that same one. See, these people acknowledge what they want to acknowledge when they want to acknowledge it. The fact of the matter is I'm not part of a RICO. Sarcasm isn't against the rules. Being animated isn't against the law. I can say it sarcastically. I can say it aggressively. I can say it in any tone I want. Lasniak literally said, you know, it's not just that they're being called poopy head. It's that they're being called poopy head for hours and hours and hours and hours. Yeah, poopy head was the perfect example to use because that's about as immature and juvenile as the allegations that you're throwing forth. Okay? Now I'm going to play you guys a little video. Now that I love that Brittany says she's not going to speak about me, I think it has to do with this fantastic video that was made. Again, there was no live stream of the courts. If you believe there was, sure, fine, go ahead, do what you got to do. But we're not going to fall for it. I'm not falling for it. You can say whatever you want, but you can't prove it. And that, my friends, is where you have a problem. So check this out. This is a video called Poking the Bear That You're Afraid Of. A clip from a private stream of Brittany J from December after the litigation filing, where she's openly mocking Granny and poking her, then cries victims when she gets a response. Please do not contact, harass, or send hate to anyone in this video. I also love the fact that Brittany now claims her proof of lost income is me telling people to unsubscribe, to not hate watch. Well, thank you for proving that your money comes from berating me and mocking me, first off. Secondly, am I sending people to harass you, or am I asking people to not even subscribe to you? Can you figure out which one it is? Because I'm getting tired of the roller coaster, the tilt-a-whirl, if you will. Now I'm going to feed my cat.
The keys. There's something going on there. Vlad. Oh my God, I got to do it. Hot mess. You always do this. Vlad told me verbatim. I heard about vagina. Hold on. I got to do this. Vlad told me about verbatim. I heard about vaginatitis. Vagina. Vlad told me about that verbatim. I heard about the vaginatitis. Oh my God. Oh my God. Vlad told me that verbatim about the vaginatitis on the camera. I cannot. Oh, you remember I told you I was going to do this last night, hot mess? Oh, Peter.
First off, that's sexual harassment. Let's start that off. That's sexual harassment. It's not funny. It's disgusting. Okay? You're a 35, 36-year-old mother of 5. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Thank you. That was very, very kind of you. Thank you, Robin. Welcome to the green team, you guys. No, you didn't. Oh my God. That one's hilarious. Percooter.
That one's so funny. You know what's sad is the fact that I feel like we know that young ears can hear all of this. Chris Proudfoot, Katie Proudfoot, Hendersonville, Sebastian's tagged, Green Hoodie, a female. Are we close to a break in the case? And this is what she's talking about, my vagina. It's cute, isn't it?
Oh my God. Percooter, vaginatitis. Oh my God. When she says
Funny.
vaginatitis, I couldn't hold it. I could not hold it. Vaginatitis.
You couldn't hold custody either, but you know.
Dirt Stain, good to see you. Thanksgiving of last year. Oh, look at that. Over a year now. Thank you, Dirt Stain. I appreciate your support.
You have to have people lie to you and say that. Southern Sash, you're the vile woman that runs around talking about my vagina all the time, but you're also the sad little woman that was unmodded and kicked out of the Discord because you claimed that you were involved in a natural disaster and people were offering you money. So you turned around and Brittany kicked you out because she didn't want anybody else getting money from her subscribers.
Southern Sassy, but vaginatitis on camera while eating a healthy breakfast.
It's so funny, isn't it? Isn't that funny? She's such a Christian. A whole conversation with this. She's terrified for her life as well, right? Yeah.
Breakfast. She does say that, doesn't she? Vaginatitis on camera while eating a healthy breakfast.
Vaginatitis on camera while eating a healthy breakfast with her kids. Well, it's better than the fast food, right?
Oh my God.
This is what Brittany does. Not a lot of in-your-face mocking and yelling. It's constant poking until Granny is pushed too far, and then she will react. Also, BJ maturity level 0. That's just a little example of what Brittany has done, okay? That's not even all of it. It will be. She has sexually harassed me. I mean, she knowingly, intentionally put out a lie pertaining my private areas. Admit it that it was a lie. And that means that you only repeated it with the intent to harass me. You had malicious intent when you repeated that lie. She doesn't stop it. She was just over in another chat the other day doing the same thing. Another one of her good friends just held another hour-plus live stream all about my private areas. So she always has gone too far. She doesn't know when to stop. Who does this? BJ tells other people they should be ashamed. I think she needs to watch that shame thing herself. Right. And again, these are just a few parts that are caught. This isn't including all the other chats she's doing it in, all the other panels she's on, all the other times she has done it. This is just a small little snippet of it. This is after she put in declarations that she was terrified for her life. Did that sound like somebody who's terrified of me? Does that sound like somebody who's struggling to fall asleep because of me? Does everyone remember the words used to convey the absolute terror that Brittany is living in every single day? Breaking out in cold sweats because she never knows what Granny might do or say next? I heard once that if you are afraid of something, you don't poke it. So you would think that after starting litigation with Granny in October, she want to keep poking with things that she knows are a trigger topic. But she does.
There's something going on there.
She does.
Lad. Oh my God, I gotta do it, hot mess. You always do this. Lad told me verbatim. I heard about vagina.
You're going to hear Brittany, 1, mock Granny's accent, 2, speak about her private areas. If you're new to the community, you might not catch this, but those that have been around know. And this is what I've always dealt with. I also want one of the clip channels put together all of her. I'm going to start doing more members only lives. I'm going to have more giveaways, more members after dark. Sign up, y'all. Right. No, it is an immaturity. It's an absolute fucking immaturity. Why should anybody log onto the internet and have their vagina a focal point for somebody? And this again is the person that claims that she's terrified of me. She's terrified. She can't sleep at night. She's so scared. But she has no problem sitting over there mocking me. Most importantly, mocking me about my private areas. And I know I played this one quite a few times, but it's because I can't get over it. I can't get over it. And then she lies to everybody and says, y'all, I just laughed at a friend's joke. No, you didn't. You did a lot more than that.
In the next life, she's going to be a butt wart. Okay, I'm done. Robbie. Robbie, she's already got butt warts. Oh my God.
She's already got.
I mean,
is that just laughing at a friend's joke? Or is that literally putting a rumor out there that I have a fucking STD that I don't have? This is why I'm when people say I shouldn't counter, so I'll be damned. I will be damned if this woman who has sexually harassed me and put out defamation per se by accusing me of having horrendous fucking STDs gets away with it. Yep. On court with Brandy, she sure was with the loon. Yeah, just Robbie, the racist. You guys want to hear about him?
Look, let's be real. Didn't she admit that
says here?
Didn't she admit that she had some bloody butt warts? I'm just saying. Poor.
But she goes back to her audience and says, y'all, all I did was laugh at a friend's joke. You just lied on me right there. Then she goes on to say that I sent this woman a photo. And then Brittany went around telling everybody that there's this photo, which could be any photo. I don't know what photo it is because it's not mine. Swearing, telling everybody it is a photo of me just to go up on Queens one day and admit that she knew there was never a photo. So she passed that rumor along with malicious intent. Defamation. It's not just a rumor, it's defamation.
For Angela, y'all.
Right here.
Oh my God. Poor Angela Ferris. Granny sent her pictures of her bloody butthole.
There you go, right there. Defamation per se. And then again, like I said, she admitted it. She admitted it on Queen's panel that she knew there was never a photo. But I had to put, and I still to this day, with her and Chaz and that little bitch boy over there, and he puts the little, donut emoji, and I'm still being sexually harassed over that. Do you know how many accounts I had to block that were called Granny's bloody butt warts, Granny's bloody butthole, McWart, Granny McWarty? I mean, the fucking nerve. I'm not showing her none. This is exactly why I'm going on. Right. And a mother, Shaggy, a mother of a daughter. So, that's why I'm pursuing it. It's absolutely why I'm pursuing it. And her little buddy Robbie's no damn better. Y'all, I'm just saying. So yeah. I'm not putting up with it. I'm not. These people are just unbelievable. And the fact that anybody thinks that, the fact is, yeah, G-Wars, the fact of the matter is they went into court the other day. They thought they looked up some type of stipulation that would allow them to ask for a continuance. He went on to say, oh, I know they're going to say, we waited to the last minute, but we didn't. No, you did. You did. I know she does, Kick Rocks. I know she does. So ultimately, they're now not allowed to give their exhibits. Yeah, that's the same person. They're not allowed to give their exhibits. They were denied their request to amend, which means they now don't get to add Stephen Fisher. They had no intent on adding Queen Bee. Nick admitted it. And then what else was it? Oh, they were denied the continuance for discovery. Right. Well, Granny's just saying, I'm countersuing, Brittany. Right. Thank you, True Crime. I absolutely said not to call. She made fun of your health scare before or after offering prayers to her chat. Right. She's a demon, dude. She's a fake Christian. There's nothing that's worse. And I don't care what anybody feels about me saying that. Hey, Miss Swish. If anybody would like to come up, you're more than welcome. Well, again, the fact that the judge didn't read this filing, BJ says she wants to talk about Granny, give her a day or so. Oh my gosh, please. I wasn't even live. I wasn't live since the date we got the court date until the morning of court, and she was still speaking on me. Brittany will not last not speaking on me. We'll see how long it takes, but she won't last. But lying to people to get sympathy while abusing the courts to get money. Nope. Right. And my attorney made a point to say that. Your Honor, I want you to remember that this is on the back of a now 16-year-old, then 15-year-old missing child. That's what this is on the back of. It's horrible. It's horrific. And then again, Lasniak couldn't even remember Sebastian's name. He's like missing Rogers. He couldn't remember. She has Air Force, and those who have been around know that, and I'm so glad they do. I do too, Ashley. I'm very thankful for them. Yeah, and then this is what BJ does. Then she cries victim when you push back. I never did anything to anybody. I don't understand why people are mean to me. Y'all, I swear, if you had to ask Jesus himself, why these people don't like me, they couldn't tell you. No, they want attention. What they need to post is proof that there was a live recording from the court that day. That's what they need to prove. They can't, and they won't. Says she isn't going to mention your name and wants her chat to help her with that. Yeah. It won't be long. She never lasts long. How many times did we make an agreement to not speak on each other? And she couldn't. You know who you are. Don't. No, I know. Sorry. Y'all, I'm sick. You really had to do this now? Oh my God. Hung on YouTube. Not good. Listen, their channel's going down in a little bit. Their channel's not going to last long. These people want attention. That's why we don't give it to them. That channel does not follow fair use by any means. Okay? They're not going to follow fair use. They're going to be removed. But she will continue to talk about it. That's what she's always done. She's always done. She won't say my name, but she'll say it in other ways. She's asking her chat to what? Where'd that go? You're not going to be good for a week and get out of the countersuit. No. Is she asking her chat to falsify evidence? They all are. Right, Roxy. But it wasn't live streamed. Hold on really quick. Oh, yeah. Elon Musk. Elon Musk. I don't go to any of them. I wait for clips. She said G-dubs the other day. QB was like, what? Yeah, that's me. So she already couldn't last. Are you locked in? You weren't even online for 4 days. She couldn't keep your name out of her mouth. It's almost like you're all she has to talk about. I am, Ashley, and I've said that for years. If there's not like a trending true crime case for her to exploit, okay? If there's not then it always falls back to the drama, which is always she falls back to me. That's it. That's all. Oh, please. They tell her not to. After her attorney was denied and denied again, she might want to Google when she signs. Oh, yeah. Dog didn't show up for court. No. He did say he was on his way, but he never appeared. We looked all over the court. Him or Castor. They simply weren't there. It was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. They didn't make it that day. But again, how about the fact that they admitted that Castor's name being used was not a Scrivener's error? I think that's a big deal. Do you think that's a big deal? I mean, I do. And what's with this whole Lore Lodge thing? With Tony up there speaking for Seth? Maybe. Butter, I don't know. True crime case, she just replays others' lives, right? She doesn't even do her own work. The fact that she said that I ruined her professional image, who the fuck ever saw her as professional? BJ had a fit claiming you accused her of sexual assault immediately after playing a clip of you clearly saying sexual harassment. Not one of her mods corrected her. So I said sexual harassment. She says sexual assault. Does she realize that, again, that within itself is defamation? To say I accused you of sexual assault. If you think her heifer ass would ever get close enough to me to sexually assault me. Unbelievable. Went to his son's, right. It's like living in a neighborhood. If you don't like the neighbors, they don't like you. You don't demand to sit in their home and listen to it. Right. That was the other thing. Like, they have an option to turn us off. They don't have to listen to anything we say. Hey, hippie. Of what was said about Bruce Castor. They asked for him to clarify for the courts if Bruce Castor was an attorney on this filing. And he said no. He represents another plaintiff in a different legal matter, but that he has been consulted and that they had his permission to use his name, which is basically admitting to the court that you improperly used his name, as we stated, as we know. What's the next move? We wait for the judge to get through this ridiculous stack of filings, refer back to our hearing and the arguments that were made, come back with an answer of whether she believes that this is a SLAPP lawsuit or not. If she doesn't think it's a SLAPP lawsuit, we can then take it up to Superior Court and fight it there. Or we can go forth because they'll never make it through the preliminary objections. So, I don't know. I guess when the time gets there, if we have to make a choice between those, we will. And then again, depending the outcome of the SLAPP depends how far we go. If we get approved for the SLAPP, and they not only grant me back my attorney fees from each plaintiff, but as well as a sanction or recognizes the damage that they've done, then we countersue. It was used to intimidate and potentially intimidate others. Oh, I can, Agent 99. Good question. Let's take a look-see. Let's take a look. It's in the book, not the one written by Castor. All right. All right. Stop it, Nelly. Let's pull it up. Do, 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 do. Four, 009. Oh, miscellaneous. Let's pull it up. Docket entries. 39 of them. All right. Let's take a look at the brief. All right. Introduction. Defendant Barbecue submits the reply brief in further support of her motion to the anti-SLAPP immunity provided by the Uniform Public Expression, an award of attorney fees incurred after being compelled to defend herself against the plaintiff's meritless claims aimed at suppressing her rights to engage in protected public expression. The purpose of this reply is to demonstrate that plaintiff's claims meet the definition of a so-called strategic lawsuit against public participation that Pennsylvania now formally considers a scourge to be eliminated. A SLAPP lawsuit is a meritless lawsuit designed to chill a defendant's exercise of rights protected by the First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. SLAPP lawsuits are designed to harass, intimidate persons like Miss Barbecue from continued participation in matters of public significance. As discussed below, plaintiff's claims meet all of the hallmarks of a SLAPP lawsuit, warranting a finding of immunity under the Act, as well as an award that holds each of the plaintiffs jointly and severally liable for the attorney fees incurred by Barbecue. The relevant facts as alleged. This matter stems from efforts to locate a missing child. There's a keynote 1, their complaint, paragraph 13, or more accurately, from the media circus that some of the plaintiffs created, but are now trying to manipulate around those efforts. The named plaintiffs in this case include a media company, 2, which is At Night Media, and a television personality, which is Dog the Bounty Hunter. Although they are the first 2 named plaintiffs in this case, the complaint does not even attempt to assert any claims on their behalf and lacks even the insufficiently bare allegations asserted on behalf of some of these other plaintiffs. Plaintiffs created the media circus. Since the child's disappearance, plaintiffs have publicized their efforts to locate the missing child. Paragraph 13. According to the complaint, these efforts include a petition on change.org urging the FBI to criminally investigate the circumstances leading to the child's disappearance and offering substantial sums of money as a reward for information on the missing child. They just footnote the complaint. Do you guys want me to pull up the footnotes? Thank you so much, Gary. 37 months. That's amazing. Should we pull up the footnotes as they, like the paragraphs as they highlight them, or should we let them go? You guys let me know. Hey, Feisty Nana. Nah, yes. Let's see. Thumbs up. I agree with that. Sure, let's see them. All right. Reward for information on the missing child. These efforts also include television personalities, Plaintiff Chapman, who announced the increased reward on his various social media platforms. And according to the complaint, captured nationwide attention. Nationwide is on your side. Paragraph. Complaint number 38, 42, and 66. I have 66 right here. That's where they acknowledged they were on court TV. I don't feel like doing all that. We'll leave that to somebody else. Well, unless we have to. 38. Paragraph 38 is also ridiculous. 38 says, on September 3rd at approximately 11:17 a.m., Mr. Hassafrasu emailed Special Agent Bobby Simmons of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation to begin coordination efforts involving Dog the Bounty Hunter at night and Mr. Rogers' interest in assisting with the search. I mean, who cares? They're full of crap anyway. The complaint is replete with allegations of plaintiffs, particularly Seth Rogers, soliciting media attention, including by speaking to reporters and appearing on national news programs. The complaint alleges that plaintiff Rogers hired plaintiff Tony L. Mathis to assist with media requests and admits that the involvement of At Night, Mathis, and Chapman amplified attention on the case tenfold in a 2-week period. Where did they say that? A complaint 29? On May 1st, 2024, Mr. Rogers retained Tony Mathis on a pro bono basis to assist with media requests, allowing him the space to mourn and continue searching for his son, Sebastian, with peace of mind. And then what was the other one? 76? 76 says, on September 20th, 2024, news networks reported that plaintiff Dog the Bounty Hunter, At Night, and Tony Mathis had issued cease and desist demands to certain content creators. Plaintiff Mathis, spokesman for Mr. Rogers, emphasized the importance of At Night's involvement, stating, they bring a social media team, they bring an investigative team, and they bring a legal team. And those are things that were all desperately needed. In addition to Dog's passion and overall horsepower of his organization, the case has been amplified tenfold just in the last 2 weeks. Well, that's crazy because look where they're at now. Hey, Alabama Nana. That's crazy. Tenfold in 2 weeks. Plaintiff Rogers and Chapman used some of the media attention to accuse the missing child's stepfather of being involved in his disappearance. Despite its ordinate length, the complaint is replete with nebulous allegation of Barbecue's alleged torturous conduct. The complaint does not mention Barbecue until paragraph 47. The complaint alleges that plaintiffs, although the complaint fails to offer any context for Barbecue's involvement in this matter, Barbecue volunteers their time to help find the missing child and uses their social media platforms in part to gather and disperse information about the matter. The complaint alleges that plaintiff's counsel served Barbecue with a cease and desist letter. That letter accuses Barbecue of, among other torts and crimes, of making terroristic threats and promises imminent legal action, including in Pennsylvania, New York, Florida, and Tennessee. The letter also attaches an emergency motion of preliminary injunction and temporary restraining order under a caption style for the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. Notably, the request for relief in a draft motion for preliminary injunction seeks to effectively silence Barbecue, including by banning all of Barbecue's social media handles, preventing her from creating new social media accounts, and forcing her to surrender all of her electronic devices. That's why during the court hearing, it was stated that if the judge simply looked at the injunction, she would see that is not constitutional. Is unconstitutional for their request. Way unconstitutional. Woo, that's interesting. The complaint then accuses Barbecue of using the cease and desist letter to establish a GoFundMe site to raise funds for her defense against the threatened lawsuit. neglecting to mention the motion for preliminary injunction attached to the cease and desist letter. The complaint claims that Barbecue falsely solicited funds to defend herself against claims that were not yet asserted. There is no allegation that Barbecue solicited those funds from any of the named plaintiffs or that any of them contribute to her legal defense. See, the only way anybody could actually complain about the funds raised is if they donate it. That's why they make mention. None of these people donate it. The central thrust of plaintiff's claims against Barbecue is that she attempted to undermine the plaintiffs through mockery, manipulation, and defamation as tools of harassment. This mockery apparently includes referring to one of the plaintiffs as a lazy, wasteful piece of shit and another one as a couch potato. I know. Isn't that something? The complaint also notes that Barbecue may have insulted others by calling them foul fucking human beings. Hippie head. The complaint generally accuses Barbecue of deploying sarcasm and ridicule. Oh no, being sarcastic is now illegal. Watch out, folks. Nobody's allowed to have a sense of humor or you will go to jail, motherfuckers. 20 years. Fuck that. The complaint generally, sarcasm and ridicule and public shaming and public humiliation against the plaintiffs. Presumably, that includes offering her opinion that Plaintiff Mathis should not be a fucking spokesperson for anybody's missing child, in my opinion. Oh shit, it said in my opinion. I thought Joseph Lasniak said all we had to say was in my opinion. Woo. Without citing to a single specific statement made by Barbecue, plaintiffs accused her of distorting legal proceedings and exploiting family disputes in her attacks against the plaintiffs. Without alleging with any particularity the content of statements made by Barbecue or offering any context, the complaint claims that she accused Plaintiff Rogers of pedophilia and involvement in a child's murder, accused Plaintiff Mathis of infidelity and improper personal conduct, and accused Plaintiff Christina O'Donnell of drug use, racism, and extramarital affairs. Meanwhile, Brittany's over there accusing me of having fucking STDs. You know what I mean? Like, okay. Matter of fact, I kid you not. When I read this document, I read this filing, but it was months ago, right? When I read it again, can you believe that they said that me calling Brittany a wasteful piece of shit was defamation per se? I swear to God they did. Matter of fact, it says it here. Defendant watching. All right. Granny's Watching's mockery, manipulation, false accusations, and incitement of her audience are all part of a coordinated strategy to discredit and defame Mr. Rogers, aligning with the larger pattern of racketeering activity. Hal, right. Hal's calling somebody. If that's defamation per se, then didn't Betty just call Jay a wasteful piece of shit? A waste of space? Watch out, Betty. That's defamation per se. These fucking people, man. All right. Among the few tangible facts included in the complaint, plaintiffs take issue with Barbecue expressing her opinion that anyone who shared a potential crime scene video of Caleb Harris, a young man reported missing who was later found dead, could be prosecuted. The complaint does not allege that Barbecue's statement was directed to any of the plaintiffs. At least one of the plaintiffs revealed the true motives behind their lawsuit against Barbecue. In a June 11th, 2024 text message from Plaintiff Mathis to Barbecue, Mathis threatens. And this is what was presented. This was the exhibit. And last night I tried well, they were able to give an exhibit that I've never seen. Why can't I? And the judge is like, because they're defendants and you're a plaintiff. So that's all because they're in NDAs. Matter of fact, we all heard the voice clip of Brittany saying she's not in the loop, didn't we? Did you all hear that? Who missed it? Put a 1 in the chat if you did not hear Brittany crying that she was left out of the group. I'm curious if there's anybody who didn't hear it. Because I'd be more than happy to play it for you. Oh, wow. You guys didn't hear it? Okay, hold on.
Angela, I know you probably don't believe me, but I swear on my life, that's how I'm finding out everything. I have had one talk with Lesniak, which I told you about.
Can you guys hear it? Let me just upload it. They can strike me later. I don't care. All right. Oh, let me get back. I want to take some of that off.
I know you probably don't believe me, but I know you probably don't believe me.
All right. This was on January 29th. January 29th. Just give me 1 second. You're quicker. You're out. Had to give the cat the boot. Damn cat. Hey, Jason. All right. So let's upload this January 29th, 2025. We will put it here. Okay. So anyway, we'll play that in just a second. So they say that this is a text message from Tony. Lol, I'm the only one that didn't do anything to you. I'm actually going to file a civil suit against you and make you pay to defend it. Don't even care if I win. Screw filing a cease and desist. Waste of time. Stand by. I was done with you, but oh well. Well, ain't that a damn slap suit? When you're admitting that the whole tent, and we just got Betty saying it this last week. And then we got Brittany saying that it was free. Do y'all have thousands of dollars for legal? I don't. Y'all, it was free. The Uniform Public Expression Protection Act. Oh, wait, my video's ready to watch already. Dang, they're quick. Let's go on and hear it. All right. All right, here we go. Let's screen share it.
Angela, I know you probably don't believe me, but I swear on my life, that's how I'm finding out everything. I have had one talk with Lesniak, which I told you about.
I've had one talk with Lesniak, which I told you about.
I have not heard anything else back. They don't talk to me about anything.
They don't talk to me about anything.
From what I can see with any other of the plaintiffs, I don't think they get talked to either.
She's not sure they even talk to any of the other plaintiffs.
I have no clue what's going on. Everything that I know, you know. I've told you everything. I mean, it's an absolute shit show. And then you got this stuff.
It's an absolute shit show.
But Hong, I don't know. I mean, whatever the hell Hong is doing. I mean,
you mean Hong over on X ruining your case? Stealing our countersuit? Is that what Hong was doing? That was upsetting you? He was over on X making our countersuits easier to pursue? Yes, he was.
That makes me. I do think in a lot of regards, Brittany's full of shit with some of the stuff that her, like, she's got a crackpot attorney.
The only reason Brittany knows the word crockpot, the only reason she knows the term crockpot is because she's heard more from my attorney than she has her own. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with me that the only reason Brittany even knows the term crockpot is because she's busy watching me all the time. Hey, Brittany. It's Brittany, bitch. You wouldn't know the term crockpot if it wasn't for my attorney. The problem is, you know, my attorney's a legit motherfucking attorney, and he's here to eat yours for fucking, what did you call it? Breakfast? Breakfast, you said? Is that how you say I said it? breakfast. So yeah, crockpot. That's a very interesting term you use. That's exactly what many attorneys, not just the one I retained, that's how many of them describe this filing. Crockpot ramblings. Oh, she's an idiot, lazy wolf. Let her be an idiot.
But I mean, as far as knowing anything, I don't know shit either.
No, you sure don't. You sure motherfucking don't.
You know what I know, and I wish it's embarrassing.
You should be embarrassed. Put a 2 in the chat if you think Brittany should be embarrassed. No, listen, the term is crockpot. It was crockpot ramblings. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. But they literally said crockpot. I guess that's a saying, like crockpot ramblings. I don't know. I don't think it's crackpot. It's crockpot. The more you say it, the weirder it sounds. But yeah, we all agree, Lady V. We agree.
Actually, it's really embarrassing because I get that it's what do you call it, free or whatever, but fuck, even with a free attorney pro bono, they consult with you.
Oh, you hear that part? I can't wait to play that for the judge. Let's hear it again. Yeah, because everything's just thrown in there together with 0 sense. Who just wrote that? You're right. No, they literally called it a crockpot rambling. I'm telling you. I say a lot of shit wrong, but I literally even wrote it down when the one attorney said it to me. This is crockpot ramblings, which means it's everything just thrown in there. It's crockpot ramblings. I don't know why, though. Let's hear that again.
What do you call it, free or whatever? Actually, it's really embarrassing because I get that it's what do you call it, free or whatever, but fuck, even with a free attorney pro bono, they consult with you. I don't. Actually, it's really embarrassing because I get that it's
a remix.
It's really embarrassing because I get that it's
skirt.
What do you call it, free or whatever, but fuck, even with a free attorney pro bono, they consult with you.
Oh, do they? Maybe you would have been better off with a free attorney. Maybe they did say crap pot. I don't fucking know. Who knows?
I don't know.
She don't know either.
And what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this weird top secret chat crap? Like,
damn, they didn't even have Brittany in the top secret chat. That sucks.
Who are these people? Like, I don't even recognize their names.
Oh no, don't say
Is it multiple chats? Like, I'm not in any of this stuff.
Thank you for letting us know that these chats are full of people that aren't plaintiffs so that we can absolutely have access to them. All right, fine, crackpot, whatever. I wrote it down as crock. So you sound as stupid as me, Brittany.
Which
that's what happens when you copy my words, Brittany, that you say I misspeak all the time. So now we got you stupidly saying crackpot right along with me.
Like, this is absolutely, it really pisses me off because it's like, I'm seeing people in these chats where it looks like they're, in on the know or whatever, and none of these people.
Oh, poor Brittany wasn't in on the know as a plaintiff, and people that aren't plaintiffs were. Listen to that again. That tells me that Brittany joined this filing in hopes of being in the know with updates to Sebastian Rogers' case. Does anybody agree with me? I'd hate to say drop another one, but that's how I engage with my audience, by dropping a 1, which again is not illegal. I could make it a 3 or a 13 if you like. But does anybody else agree that it sounded like she joined this filing in hopes of getting the most up-to-date insider information? Lots of ones coming in. We can call it whatever we want. What we can't call it is logical. I like the way my attorney put it best. This was AI written, 100% artificial, 0 intelligence. That's my favorite number. 13.
Off because it's like, I'm seeing people in these chats where it looks like they're, in on the know or whatever, and none of these people are the plaintiffs at all.
You were almost right when you said the first time. None of them are litigants.
The last time I talked to Julie, which, I mean, Julie, I don't know where she's at with this, but
oh no, last time I talked to Julie, she said you were a shit mom.
last I talked to her or Betty, I'm not alone. They're not talking to them either about anything. Like, we're all kind of out of the loop.
Damn, they kept all 3 of you so trustworthy, independent, wide awake motherfuckers out of the loop. Is anybody shocked to hear that? The Google says it's crockpot. Thank you, Echo Chambers. Thank you. I will ask my attorney to correct if it's crock or crack. I don't know. Is anybody shocked they kept them out? I'm not. The 3 liabilities. I mean, Julie is the one saying she held a 45-minute conversation with Castor, which led to Castor's emails being exploited. Then they said that we fabricated the emails. Okay. Then they went a step further and said, well, no, it's just a Scrivener's error. Woo! You all lied. You all fucking lied.
It does make me wonder where is Lesniak in all of this, because
Oh, you also questioned where Lasniak was in all of this, didn't you?
he literally, I talked to him. You know what I mean? He's absolutely the attorney over this.
He is the attorney over this, and you should have saw him dropping his papers everywhere, shaking. No, this is actually a private message she sent somebody.
I don't understand where he's at.
You didn't understand where he was at because he wasn't even up to date on his own filings. But let's hear it again without interrupting.
Angela, I know you probably don't believe me, but I swear on my life, that's how I'm finding out everything. I have had one talk with Lesniak, which I told you about. I have not heard anything else back. They don't talk to me about anything. From what I can see with any other of the plaintiffs, I don't think they get talked to either. I have no clue what's going on. Everything that I know, you know, I've told you everything. I mean, it's an absolute shit show. And then you got this stuff with Hong. I don't know. I mean, whatever the hell Hong is doing, I mean, that makes me. I do think in a lot of regards, Granny's full of shit with some of the stuff that her, like, she's got a crackpot attorney. But I mean, as far as knowing anything, I don't know shit either. You know what I know, and I wish it's embarrassing. Actually, it's really embarrassing because I get that it's what do you call it, free or whatever, but fuck, even with a free attorney, pro bono, they consult with you. I don't know. And what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this weird top secret chat crap? Like, who are these people? Like, I don't even recognize their names. Is it multiple chats? Like, I'm not in any of this stuff. Which, like, this is absolutely. It really pisses me off because it's like I'm seeing people in these chats where it looks like they're, you know, in on the know or whatever, and none of these people are the plaintiffs at all. The last time I talked to Julie, which, I mean, Julie, I don't know where she's at with this, but
oh my god, like the fact that she's like,
last I talked to her or Betty, I'm not alone. They're not talking to them either about anything. Like, we're all kind of out of the loop. It does make me wonder where is Lesniak in all of this, because he literally, I talked to him. You know what I mean? He's absolutely the attorney over this. I don't understand where he's at.
blessed be the stupid. All right, back to our regular. Yes, the attorneys were arguing in the hallway. Yes, they took Lasniak to school in the hallway. Okay. After nearly a decade of advocacy from victims of SLAPP lawsuits in this Commonwealth, last year, the Pennsylvania legislature finally passed the Uniform Public Expression Protection, the Act, which the governor signed into law. The act should be considered an anti-SLAPP act. While SLAPP suits masquerade as ordinary lawsuits, the conceptual features which reveal them as SLAPPs are that they are generally meritless suits brought by large private interests to deter common citizens from exercising their political or legal rights or to punish them for doing so. Boom, bam, bah. That's exactly what this is. That's why they put dog on the front. Oh, sorry. Let me fix myself here. What am I doing? Oh, I have to pull this. Sorry. Okay. My bad. My apologies. The act officially recognizes that there has been a disturbing increase in lawsuits primarily to chill the valid exercise of protected public expression. That this participation should not be chilled through abuse of the judicial process. To protect continued public expression, the act grants immunity to those parties exercising their rights to protected public expression and awards attorney fees to the parties that are forced to defend against meritless claims arising from the exercise of the rights of protected public expression. The act directs the courts to apply a broad construction to implement the goals under paragraphs 2 and 3. Would you believe that Lasniak said that this would be like allowing people to scream fire in the theater if they allowed this to go through? He didn't write the legislation. It is a big deal, but he didn't write the legislation. He spent 10 years fighting for the legislation to go through. It was nice. The Act defines protected public expression to include a person's exercise on a matter of public concern of the rights of freedom of speech or the press, guaranteed by the First Amendment. I love the First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States, or Section 7 or 20 of Article 1 of the Constitution. The Act holds a person immune from civil liability for a cause of action based on protected public expression if the party asserting the cause of action based on protected public expression fails to establish a prima facie, whatever that is. That means like case as to each essential element of the cause of action. So that means when they listed off like, they defamed us and they hurt our business relationships and la-di-da, they have to prove all of that. Not just one, but all. And all he focused on was Seth Rogers being allegedly called the P word, which we all know never happens. Not by me. Maybe by others not named or involved, but not by me. I was looking for a thing I downloaded, but I can't find it. Or stated cause of action upon which relief can be granted. He made a point to point out that the only relief that could be granted by us is they were seeking relief by taking away our right to speech. And I'm so glad he pointed that out because it's true. It's exactly what they were doing. Like, that's all they asked for at the end of it. We just don't want them to be able to talk. Which is illegal. But hold on a second. Okay, sorry about that. Recognizing that a central goal of a SLAPP lawsuit is to often embroil defendants in expensive and time-consuming litigation, the Act establishes procedures for timely and efficient resolution of any motion raised under the Act. The Act is to protect a moving party from the burdens of litigation, which include not only discovery, but responding to motions and other potentially abusive tactics, until the court adjudicates the motion and the moving party's appellate rights with respect to the motion are exhausted. So that's why we pointed out, like, if you gave them a continuance, you would absolutely give them what they're seeking. They're seeking to prolong this. Why do you think they didn't even respond to our preliminary objections until they were granted a court hearing? They're trying to drag this out any way they can. And it's obvious to anybody with eyes, honestly. It's actually infuriating is what it is. All right, moving on. Should the trial court find that a defendant is immune under the Act, an award of attorney fees, costs, and litigation expenses is compulsory. Each plaintiff is jointly and severally responsible for the award. In this case, an award of fees, costs, and expenses must be entered against each of the 10 named plaintiffs involved in asserting the baseless claims against Barbecue. The plaintiff's complaint fails to establish a prima facie elements of the claims aimed at Barbecue's protected public expression. Plaintiffs purport to assert a variety of claims aimed at Barbecue's protected public expressions, including claims for defamation, disparagement, false light, and civil conspiracy repeated throughout the complaint. The pleading requirements for defamation, disparagement, and false light claims are the same. Griffin first Griffin. Blah, 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 da. A cause of action for civil conspiracy adopts the statute of limitations of the overt acts committed in furtherance of the conspiracy. Plaintiffs' conspiracy claims, insofar as they are based entirely on merits of the other substantive counts, are also subject to the same pleading standards. If the substantive claims fail, then so much the claim of civil conspiracy. Even Pennsylvania's liberalized system of pleading requires that the material facts upon which a cause of action is premised be pled with sufficient specificity, whatever, to set forth the prima facie elements of the tort or torts alleged. Rule of Civil Procedure 1019A requires a party to formulate the issues by summarizing the facts essential to support their claims in a concise manner. Material facts are those facts essential to support the claim. Example, those facts which satisfies the elements of cause of action. A complaint fails to assert a valid claim for defamation when it fails to allege with any particularity the content of the oral or written statements. So that's what my attorney pointed out too. Like, they don't give you the date it was said, where it was said, the context in which it was said. Yeah, this was given to the judge. They simply say that it was said. Statements claims have been made, the identity of the person or persons making those statements, the relationship of that person or persons to the defendant company and authority to act on behalf of the defendant company, the identity of the person or persons to whom the statements were made, and the relationship of that person or persons to the companies receiving the alleged communications. Because the material facts of a cause of action for defamation must include, with particularity, the content of the statement, the identity of the person making the statement, and the identity of the person receiving the statement, these facts must be specifically pled. Counts alleging defamation should be dismissed based on preliminary objections and the nature of a demurrer if it is clear that the communication is incapable of defamatory meaning. Which means calling somebody a wasteful piece of shit is not defamatory. In this case, plaintiff's 83-page, nearly 350 paragraph complaint. Hold on. Hold on, I just got a clip that I want to hear. That has to be old. That has to be from last December. Not this December, this December before. Oh. All right. In this case, plaintiff's 83-page, nearly 350 paragraph complaint, not including the over 300 pages of exhibits, violates Rule 1019A by failing to summarize the facts essential to support their claims in a concise manner, and instead substitutes argumentative allegation and expressions of opinion for concise facts. The allegations set out in the complaint are not simple, concise, or direct. The allegations are for abuse, rambling, difficult to follow, and hard to decipher. The defendants, including Barbecue, is entitled to know with some precision what misconduct they are accused of committing or allowing. The complaint simply fails to apprise Barbecue of the relevant facts against her. That's what I said. There's no list of particularities. It's just a bunch of crockpot ramblings. Plaintiffs have failed to provide the facts essential to support their claims, including, but not limited to, an identification of the statements purportedly made which were defamatory. an identification of the individual or individuals to whom these statements were reportedly published, and or an identification of when these statements were supposedly made. Rather than providing the facts essential to support their claims, including the exact words spoken or communicated, which give rise to the included causes of action, plaintiffs simply label statements that they do not like as defamatory or harassing. In this matter, plaintiffs have failed to plead sufficient facts to support the prima facie. Thanks, Kathy. Elements of any of their tort claims. The handful of quoted statements attributed to Miss Barbecue, the alleged insults and name calling are protected public expression and capable of defamatory meaning. These insults include the now near ubiquitous epithet of pedophile. Courts in Pennsylvania and elsewhere have long recognized a distinction between actionable defamation and mere obscenities, insults, and other verbal abuse. Statements which are merely annoying or embarrassing are no more than rhetorical hyperbole or vigorous epithet are not defamatory. I don't know. Look, during this year's Super Bowl halftime show, Kendrick Lamar performed a song, Not Like Us, that insults another performer and his associates as certified pedophiles. Does that sound familiar? Hold on, y'all. Not Like Us. Hyperbole. What the fuck ever. Don't you guys know? You can't correct me. Okay, so not this Christmas, but the Christmas before, Brittany was threatening then to go legal on me. She claimed that she called some organization that was in Ohio that was like anti-bullying or some shit, which again isn't my state nor hers. She also at that time said she consulted with an attorney. So what you're hearing is clips from that point, that time, because I did at that point, I said Constellation. So I know that's old. Also, this whole bullshit about me not graduating 8th grade is an absolute fucking lie. Like, it's not true. I don't care either way, but so no, that's they're old clips. They're lying, trying to cause like infighting now. Quite frankly, I don't care. I fought with her for years. Like, she said a lot of vile shit about me. It is what it is, but I do love this idea that these people that say these vile things then think that they can turn around after poking and go legal. Sorry, I had to leave a message. Hyperbole. Well, I know what Not Like Us is. Finding that a statement that was no more than rhetorical, hyperbole, a vigorous who wants to tell me this one? Anybody want to break this one down? Yeah, hyperbole. Fuck it. Super Bowl, hyperbole. What is this word, though? Epithet? All right, they go legal and then poke. Betty even said I went to college. Thank you, Betty. That's flattering. Was not slander. The same is true for statements that plaintiffs themselves categorize as sarcasm or mockery. No, not the sarcasm. Hyperbole. Now you're trying to confuse me. The Superior Court has held that communications which may annoy or embarrass a person are not sufficient as a matter of law to create an action in defamation. Well, that's interesting, ain't it? That's interesting. Okay. Doesn't matter that we annoy you. Notably, the complaint is devoid of any allegation that anyone ever harmed the plaintiff in relics of Miss Barbecue's alleged insults, or that plaintiff's reputation suffered in some tangible way. Now they're saying dog's afraid. Dog's afraid of our sarcasm. I'm afraid of dogs' fucking hair. The other category of barbecue's protected speech are her opinions, including her opinions of the character of some of the plaintiffs. Simply statement of mere opinion is not defamatory. Barbecue's opinions of some of the plaintiffs as lazy, foul, or otherwise flawed are protected under First Amendment. Just like I have a right to say that it is my opinion that Joseph Lasniak is corrupt. And I think it is the opinion of many of the people within this chat. Matter of fact, show us by a letter or number, one in the chat, if you too feel like Lasniak is corrupt. That's not defamatory, Lasniak. As an attorney, you should know that. All right. Oh, look at all the ones. A lot of people feel like you're corrupt. Thank you, Lip Locked. Listen, I'm not even going to argue the fact. Yes, I mispronounce words a lot, but I'm not fucking stupid, nor am I uneducated. I just have like some type of speech impediment. I don't know. Fuck. But I know the words fuck you. I know the words pay me. And I know the words slap. Since plaintiff's complaint fails to meet even the basic pleading requirements of an ordinary defamation claim, it cannot meet the more stringent requirements in cases involving matters of public concern. Critically, the Act considers speech on a matter of public concern to be protected public expression. By their own admittance, Sebastian Rogers' disappearance is on national news, which means it's of public concern. No, some of it's not my accent. Some of it is that I'm really just stupid. I really don't care, though. Like, listen. I mean, all truth be told, I was in a car accident that made me worse. Like when I'm reading and shit, I'm not even going to get all into it, but I believe me, I went to my doctor and shit and was like, what the fuck's wrong with me? I know that it's not normal. What am I going to do about it? Fucking cry? Sue you for making fun of me for it? Critically, the Act considers speech on a matter of public concern to be protected. Plaintiff's complaint touts their success at drawing the public's attention to their search for the missing child, essentially manufacturing public concern over the matter and inserting themselves into the heart of a public controversy. In a matter like this, where the plaintiffs are public figures, or at the very least, limited purpose public figures, the complaint must plead actual malice. The higher standard of proof applicable to public figure recognizes society's interest in uninhibited, robust, or wide open debate on public issues. Two justifications support the higher standard of proof applicable to the public figures. First, public figures enjoy a more realistic opportunity to counteract false statements than private individuals normally enjoy via media access. Second, and more importantly, public figures assume the risk of attracting public attention. Seth Rogers is now a channel owner. Okay? Indeed, in this case, plaintiffs, which include a media company and a television personality, are more than capable of counteracting any false statements in the public sphere without having to rely on the courts to protect their interests. Further, by creating a media circus around themselves, plaintiffs assume the risk of the attention they invited. Boom. They opened the door. They opened the fucking door. Yeah, Julia, it used to make me sad, but I just roll with it now. A plaintiff must plead sufficient facts such as that a jury could eventually conclude by clear and convincing evidence that the statements at issue were false. This means that plaintiffs bear the burden of pleading enough facts for the court to determine that the allegedly defamatory statements made by the defendants were false and known by the defendants to be false at the time they were made. If anybody did say that Seth is the P word, they said it because they believe it. And if they believe it, then you can't say it's defamatory. So there's that. The complaint in this case is fatally deficient by failing to assert with facts that Barbecue communicated any allegedly defamatory statements that she knew to be false when she made them. Plaintiff's failure to establish a prima facie case as to each element of their cause of action aimed at Barbecue's protected expression is not only fatal to their claims, it establishes Barbecue's absolute immunity pursuant to the freedom of speech. It bears all the hallmarks of a SLAPP. This is where it's important. Having shown that plaintiffs have failed to establish a prima facie case as to each of the elements of their alleged claims, the Act does not require Barbecue to prove that plaintiff's complaint is a SLAPP. Nevertheless, the complaint meets all the hallmarks of a SLAPP as defined by the Act. The Act is modeled on a similar anti-SLAPP law from California and even cites the California law in the notes. California has over 2 decades of presidential opinions addressing SLAPP lawsuits, and these opinions are instructive for identifying SLAPPs filed in any court. SLAPP suits are brought to obtain an economic advantage over the defendant, not to vindicate a legally cognizable right of the plaintiff. As modified on denial and disapproved by whatever, so you can go to the case law, comment strategic lawsuits against public participation. Indeed, one of the common characteristics of a SLAPP suit is its lack of merit. But lack of merit is not the concern to the plaintiff because the plaintiff does not expect to succeed in the lawsuit, only to tie up the defendant's resources for a sufficient length of time to accomplish plaintiff's underlying objective. As long as the defendant is forced to devote his time, energy, and financial resources to combat in the lawsuit, his ability to combat the plaintiff in the political arena is substantially diminished. Which is why we have continued to talk. Because if not, we would have just accepted what they said and rolled over. We're not doing that. Thus, while SLAPP suits masquerade as ordinary lawsuits, the conceptual features which reveal them as SLAPP are that they are generally meritless suits brought by large private interests to deter common citizens from exercising their political or legal rights to punish them for doing so. Because winning is not a SLAPP plaintiff's primary motivation, defendants traditionally safeguards against meritless actions. Suits for malicious prosecution, abuse of process, requests for sanctions are inadequate to counter SLAPPs. Instead, the SLAPPer considers any damage or sanction or award which the SLAPPee might eventually recover as merely a cost of doing business. By the time a SLAPP victim can win a SLAPPback suit years later, the SLAPP plaintiff will probably already have accomplished his underlying objective. Furthermore, retaliation against the SLAPPer may be counterproductive because it ties up the SLAPPee's resources even longer than defending the SLAPP suit itself. Setting aside the lack of merit to plaintiff's claims, the complaint has all the characteristics of a SLAPP suit. First, plaintiffs include a media company and a television personality, even though the complaint purportedly filed on their behalf does not even attempt to assert any valid claims against the defendants by these 2 plaintiffs. They are included on the caption primarily to draw the public's attention and increase the pressure on defendants to capitulate to defend plaintiff's demands. Second, the complaint, at least according to the cover sheet, requests no monetary damages and seeks injunctive relief instead. Plaintiffs demand nothing short of completely silencing the defendants, including by preemptively enjoining them from engaging in protected public expression. These prior restraints on speech would violate the First Amendment and are prohibited. Plaintiffs are not entitled to injunctive relief that they seek. Thus, the very relief sought by the plaintiff exposes their lawsuit as a SLAPP. Third, plaintiffs devote substantial allegations directed at Barbecue's reliance on GoFundMe to help raise funds to defray the high cost of defending herself in this case. The complaint even requests that the court prohibit Barbecue from crowdsourcing or otherwise soliciting funds for her legal defense. Plaintiffs have no plausible interest in preventing Barbecue from soliciting funds to defray the cost of this litigation, unless their true goal is to abuse the legal process to financially destroy the defendants as a prerequisite to silencing their expression. Finally, because I'm out of breath, we have Plaintiff Mathis' admission sent via text, threatening Barbecue. I'm actually going to file a civil suit against you and make you pay to defend it. Don't even care if I win. You should have saw their faces when that was presented. You should have saw their faces. It was like they all saw Julia's ghostly looking face. They were shocked. Mathis recognizes that SLAPP suits are pernicious in large part because they can be successful without being meritorious. His threat to make Barbecue pay to defend it, followed by his expression that he's unconcerned with the outcome, reveals that plaintiff's lawsuit is not about vindicating any legitimate rights. It is about abusing this court to harass and intimidate one of their focal critics into permanent silence. This is exactly the nefarious abusive conduct that our legislator in Pennsylvania deemed a scourge when it passed the act last year. As one of the first trial courts in the Commonwealth to address this issue since the act was passed, this court is empowered to send a powerful message to the tear SLAPP suits filed against ordinary citizens like Barbecue. For all the reasons stated herein and in defendant's moving papers, Barbecue respectfully requests that this honorable court find in her favor by finding that she is immune to plaintiff's claims pursuant to the anti-SLAPP. And then here's their Exhibit A. And here's Tony's message. Lol, I'm the only one that didn't do anything to you. I'm actually going to file a civil suit against you and make you pay to defend it. Don't even care if I win. Screw filing a C&D. Waste of time. But you spelled waste wrong. Stand by. I was done with you, but oh well. That screams slap. Right. Two of them are constantly trying to raise funds. I think they did great. Welcome, Nature Rocks. He spelled it like his waist, like waste. I hope that, and that's just playing him right there. But we could have also played Brittany, which my attorney did bring up, where she says, it's free. We could have played Betty, saying she's going to bankrupt Karama by making people pay to help us beat their ridiculous lawsuits. I mean, there's so much that could have been done and shown to show their whole intent. But you got to remember, and I can show you guys in my preliminary objections, these people are ridiculous. And again, why is At Night Media filing anything? They lie in here and they say that I raise funds. They literally say that I raised funds. So over here, this is the only thing the judge had that day, was she had our preliminary objections. So that's all she knew. But we did put that in our preliminary objections that Nick, we put down here, we quote him. Right here. Defendant Granny's watching pushed back on their rhetoric and or coverage of the case by and through the use of publicly well-known fact that At Night Media has threatened to use truth serums on individuals that they deem as a suspect in their cases, that of which is illegal in the United States. It resulted in public attacks. When At Night Media's public attacks on me began and failed to work, they entered the instant injunction, which is baseless, meritless, and full of fallacies. I was conducting a live show when Nick entered. The subject matter of September 25th podcast was the ongoing investigation of plaintiff Rogers' missing son in Sumner County. I was expressing my opinion about the conduct of the investigation based on publicly accessible sources. Nick then comes in with a boxing glove emoji and a skunk and wrote, "I found the queen skunk," followed by, "Hey, you and Delco too? See you soon." Then Nick went over the X to dox myself and my family. Joseph Lasniak responded to Nick's post on X with information regarding Pennsylvania laws on doxing. On the 18th, Nick filed the injunction, but he attached the exhibits to his personal website. Hasfrasu's online associates read the injunction, and during their live shows, Hasfrasu made comments such as, "We're not asking for money. If they end the nonsense Monday, this could be settled Tuesday." The live host stated, this is federal and will cost the defendants a lot of money. Nick comments, "We haven't even started. And if all the nonsense ends, no charge, no money. Nonsense ends Monday. They sign Tuesday. It's dismissed Wednesday." He then does a live show where he says first shots fired, 10 lawsuits, 10 different states. He states they aren't asking for money and further claims they will get the IP addresses of everyone who disagrees with them so they can be sent out subpoenas. He repeatedly claims that their intent is to silence keyboard warriors. It is not worth the money you're going to spend in litigation. It's really not. We just started a rather big bill on our end, so I can't imagine the other end. So guys, again, all we're asking for is some civility here. We're not asking for money. These individuals were to agree tomorrow to the terms, which include to stop bullying. Tuesday, we will have that agreement. And then Wednesday, the judge will review the agreement. He claims it's becoming a class action with over 20 more plaintiffs, some that haven't even been named yet, some that are also big, well-known entities. So she saw all of this. They further stated news agencies they were going to hold a press conference. Then they canceled due to concerns of an offhanded joke of a marching band. Shortly thereafter, Adnight Media changed their name to Adnight Intelligence Agency to Adnight Private Intelligence Agency. They had the news report on this. I was finally served. There's no reason for you to drag yourself into something that we all know you won't be able to afford to get out. Now, maybe there are YouTubers, not in this case, that can afford litigation. Probably 2 people that have millions of followers, not anyone that has under 1 million. So the judge has all of this. We put screenshots of that, Kimberly. He further brags that the company that is coming for me has won a lawsuit against Jeff Bezos, and he's the world's richest man. He threatens to add more defendants and drag us across the world. He states if anyone says even a one word he dislikes, he will add them to and cost them thousands of dollars. He has big names with money. He says he's working with Mark Zuckerberg and Donald Trump. That if I take his side, I could have a really big channel. It is a shame to see you get really thrown into the ringer by the same person that is protecting you. He tells me to reach out to Joseph Lasniak and he'll help me get an attorney. So the judge has all of this. He then states again, the cost of this lawsuit says you'll be making YouTube videos for the next 10 years and they'll only cover your gas to get to court. We are going through litigation. We are going through depositions and we are going to trial for some of these people. This is going to be 4 or 5 year litigation and it won't end until the year 2030. There's going to be a new president, a whole new world by then. That's when this is going to be over. And next time you click live, think about that. If you want to be stuck in front of a jury spending thousands and thousands of dollars. Well, that sounds like a slap. I know. Jason, they wish they were on our side. I think they've realized they chose the wrong side. People think this filing is about Sebastian Rogers. It isn't. Who remembers when Betty said that? I know. Well, they said that. Don't forget, Nick said there wouldn't be depositions, and then he said there would. Which is, in fact, asking for money. Right. They couldn't even figure out what they were asking for. We're not going to sit tight and let these people utilize these powerful platforms online to drag and defame individuals. He did not have the his production team there. Oh, that's that psycho. He further states that after the hearing, he'd like to host a live panel. He promised to make the production. Plaintiff Brittany Jackson, Andrew Griffin repeatedly misrepresent this filing by stating this is a federal lawsuit and defendants are facing up to 20 years in jail, despite the fact this is a civil lawsuit. So she saw all of this, thank God. He threatened us with Trump, damn it. You know what these people fail to mention when they talk about poor grieving father Seth Rogers? Do you guys know what they really fail to mention? They fail to mention that he is a suspect. That he himself is a suspect. So I guess it's okay for them to go on national news and accuse Chris and Katie of unaliving Sebastian. But if anybody speculates or conspirizes on Seth Rogers' role as a suspect, we're now defaming him. How many of you think that Seth Rogers is involved in Sebastian's disappearance? Go ahead and drop me with a 1 if you think he is involved. Put a 2 if you think he is not. I'm genuinely curious. Lots of 1s. You know, I've stated many times that I'm not going to give my opinion on what I think happened. I originally stated that I thought that Sebastian just ran away. But there's only one reason. There's only one reason these people are using the idea that he's a grieving father instead of acknowledging the fact that he is actually a suspect. He's a suspect, okay? And when they sit there and they say things like, well, he's a prison guard, and calling him a P word endangers his life. When's the last time this man even went to work? We all know that Tony lied and said that Seth wasn't at work because he got in a fight there. Right? We remember that lie. And he works for the people. Therefore, his employment was able to be FOIA'd. Just like Julia works for the people and her military can be FOIA'd. But because of that, and thankfully because people were able to FOIA that, we were able to see that in real time they lied to the public. Let that sink in. Tony Mathis, the spokesman for Seth Rogers, a suspect in his son's disappearance, went on a podcast and lied to the public. He fucking lied straight face to all of you. Just like Seth Rogers lied to the public when he stated with absolute certainty that the police never explained the quote-unquote flashlight video, yet we heard him for months on several podcasts, including in the news, stating that they did explain it. Not only that they explained it, but they showed it. They showed him the video, they showed him the entirety, but he lied. Just like Tony lied that he didn't have a peen screen slip. What was the outcome of the FBI's investigation with that? I'm assuming it's going to be similar to the fact that we live streamed during the court hearing. We're not going to hear another peep about it. Just like we haven't heard another peep about Trump being in Tennessee. Just like we haven't heard anything further about Sebastian being in Ohio. Just like we haven't heard anything further about the Venezuela gangs taking Sebastian. How many other conspiracies have they put out there about where Sebastian Rogers could be? You have the nerve to go to the courts and say that we are accusing a suspect of being involved in his missing teenager's disappearance, but you all can go to national news with some fucking ridiculous blob and say that you should be embarrassed, but say that you see two people in it carrying Sebastian out, right? Green hoodie guy and all of that. And I agree, broken pieces, but you know what else I say about that? Birds of a feather flock together, and Seth Rogers got in where he fit in, okay? But I'll be damned if some attorney from Delaware County thinks that he's going to drag me through years of litigation for my right to freedom of speech. I have a right to speculate if I think he's guilty, the same way you and your cohorts speculate every single day that Katie and Chris, you don't just speculate, you fabricate evidence. You need to worry about what your plaintiffs are doing, sir, and leave me the fuck alone. The fact that I was told by Nick that I can contact Lasniak and he'll get me an attorney, I'm supposed to reach out to the people that are suing and pursuing me to get me legal representation. The fact that Nick even offered me an out tells me that Nick knew that you had nothing on me. The only thing you had on me was Brittany's fucking insecurities. You fucking know it. Julia, you should be ashamed. Julia, Miss Actress, you should be fucking ashamed. The fact that you want to be recognized for your military service. You want to be recognized for you serving our country so that we can have the rights we have, such as the right to freedom of speech. And then you would fucking lie. You would fucking lie to the courts in an attempt to take away my freedom of speech. And Joseph Lasniak doesn't like the fact that I curse. Well, fuck you. I don't like the way you fucking walk, talk, or dress. Guess what? That's my right to fucking have, motherfucker. And if I want to curse, and if I want to use inflammatory language, and if I want to be sarcastic, or I want to be aggressive, or if I want to be fucking jolly and whatever I want to be, it's not your right to decide how I get to fucking represent myself. Looking like Pee Wee Herman up there. I can promise you I'm a real person. My mother's dealt with me for 47 years. You sound as ridiculous as the plaintiffs that you're fucking defending. You can ask my mommy I'm real. All I kept thinking of was fucking Pinocchio, but I'm a real boy. Okay, Joseph Lasniak is a real attorney. Do you think anybody that's been listening to me was ever going to retain your services? And do you think they're going to now, after this? And then Julia being like, I wore my military clothes because I just left duty. Okay, well, we'll find out. How about that? Because guess what? We have a right. We have a right to freedom of speech. We have a right to FOIA requests, those that are paid by the public, and you work for the public, okay? You can call that threatening. You can say that's quote unquote going real life. Guess what, bitch? This is my real life. You think you get to insert yourself into my real world outside of YouTube and then think that I'm going to abide by YouTube's fucking rules of not going real life? And then you got little psychopath War Eagle over there talking about, they doxed me, then fucking pursued me. Because I don't know if anybody's told you all yet, but Nick Hasafrasu, who is a parolee, which means he is bound by the fucking Pennsylvania laws, doesn't have the right to pursue me for any criminal acts. He's not a fucking cop. He's not a sheriff. He wasn't deputized. He's nothing more than a man that's put on a leash by the government because he's a criminal. I mean, who the fuck is hung to say, we just wanted you to stop breaking crimes? Okay, and I wanted you to stop breaking the weight scale. Did you do it? No. Who the fuck are you to say I'm breaking a crime? I mean, you might put little fuzzy handcuffs on Nick, but you sure as fuck aren't going to put them on me. We just want you to stop breaking crimes. Okay, last I've seen, the police haven't come to my motherfucking door. I'm not on parole. Yeah, it's pathetic and it's despicable. What did they say? What word did they use to describe them being photographed? Oh my God, I can't believe that we would be photographed going to the courthouse. Well, I can't believe that you would wear your fucking your military or army clothing to the courthouse. What you think that did? Made the judge look at you and be like, oh, she shall be respected because she's wearing a military uniform. You don't think she saw right through that little fucking gimmick? Of course she did. Of course she did. These fucking people. Look, Your Honor, they said she's not real military. Do you know what that does to her career? Sir, do you know what her entire behavior throughout the disappearance of Sebastian has done to her career? Are you aware, Mr. Lasniak? Because I know you're recording me right now. Hello, hi, this is public. Do you know that Julia herself claims that she turned down a Purple Heart? Do you know that? Do you know that Julia used this scene out of one of her pathetic and mediocre acting movie/productions to pretend that she handed over the flag of an honorable deceased member of our army to their loved one? Do you know that? Do you know that Julia now reused the same photo twice to claim that her dog, her pup, her canine found drugs, the same dog, she was wearing the same clothes on 2 different dates at 2 different facilities? If you want to know, Mr. Lasniak, what made Julia look like a fool, like the buffoon she is, that made people question her professionalism, I'll show you, Mr. Lasniak, because I'm sure your plaintiffs won't. You want to see why people question Julia? You want to know how many people Julia was in cohorts with? How many people she was talking to? Well, I want to present you this exhibit here, if you don't mind. I want to firmly state that I have absolutely nothing to do with that night or One Media or whatever the heck Nick's company is. Oh, why she say that, you may ask? Well, my military career, family life, and canine handler career means so much to me. And I know that you can understand, especially the family side. I would never, ever align myself with anyone who wants to drug individuals with truth serum or whatever else it is they say they do. That's beyond messed up. Also, none of my books are affiliated with whatever organization that is either. I'm guessing she forgot to show you this email. Julia, never associate with Nick or at night or whatever his company's name is. That's right, folks. This Julia right here. This one, she would never associate with them. Why would she? What? Never. No. But here she is. Then you tell me how somebody who's accusing me of being the reason their personal life was affected is emailing me how incredibly hard of a time she's had with all of this. She doesn't say in there, fuck you, Granny. You did this to my family. No, she doesn't. Matter of fact, you know who she claimed did it to her family? Your other plaintiff, Brittany Nicole Jackson. No, she sounds like this. I wanted everybody to know that I'm real. She's another one. Like, I'm real. I'm really military. The way she represents herself is why people question if she's professional. Again, one of the last emails I ever received from Julia was her talking about how shitty of a mother Brittany is. The same thing you're now trying to call me. It's defamation. Well, does anybody want to remind them all what defamation is? Defamation is if you make a statement knowing it not to be true. I know it to be true that Brittany is a mediocre parent at best. And I promise you, you can take me in front of a judge and ask me why I feel that way. And by the time I'm done, the judge will agree. Okay? You should have started when you called that defamatory. You should have asked her, well, do you have any children that you don't have custody of, maybe? Again, for a statement to be defamatory, it has to be knowingly stated with malicious intent, knowing it was false. Calling her a fat, wasteful piece of shit isn't false to me. Everybody said, I want to see how many angles they took of me in the courtroom. How many angles do you think we could get of you? I mean, seriously, how many angles do you think you can get of Nick? I mean, I'm sorry, not Nick, of Hong. Again, you know what they look like together? Hold on. Oh my God, what is it called again? What's that Nickelodeon guy called again? That's what they look like together. Oh, I got it. And I'm not kidding. And I don't care if you like it. You don't have to like it. But I don't have to like you. And that's the beautiful thing with the fact that we have a right to our opinions in the United States, thanks to people like Julia, right? Julia, you want all the credit for serving the military, but yet you don't want to stand for what you fought for, which is our right to free speech. This is what all of them looked like together. I swear to God, I'm not even exaggerating. This is all I can say. Here's Nick, here's Hong, here's Lasniak. Right, circles don't have sides. I mean, I don't know how many flattering angles you think you have, but I can promise you, unlike Julia, who likes to only take photos from behind, behind is not your best asset, sir. You know what sucks? You know what really sucks? The fact that I thought Hong was a decent person, Hong. I thought you were decent. Well, you can FOIA request it, Karma. My understanding is you have a right to FOIA request somebody's service, right? I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's my understanding. If an avocado had legs, little short stumpy legs, okay, that's what you would look at. Nope, circles are round. We have to teach them these things. Circles are round and speech is free, okay? Do you really think he was decent, or was that the hyperbole? No, I really thought he was decent. I thought he was a decent guy. Hong was very polite to me when I met him. Matter of fact, when I locked eyes with Nick, I was trying to say to him, like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why are you doing this? We were fucking cool. They were nice to me. I was nice to them. We could have had a nice rapport going. We could have conquered Delco News together. We could have done great things together. And instead, because you wanted to have a RICO, because you wanted jurisdiction, you tied me up in this. There's no other reason. There's no other reason for what they did. And I want to remind all of you, Josh from the lab, he'll be excited. Somebody finally acknowledged his ass. Mr. Blue Balls over there, Mr. E, and Brittany herself all acknowledged what slag balls they thought Nick and Hong to be. And now they got you tied up in litigation that you will never, ever be able to get out of, to combat. You're fucked, essentially fucked. And guess what? I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. I've had people say to me, every time they catch me feeling bad, they remind me why I shouldn't. And they're right. They're absolutely right. Why should I feel bad for what Brittany did? Again, I share with all of you. Brittany entering this filing without a single idea of what she was signing, just to one up me.
Angela, I know you probably don't believe me, but I swear on my life, that's how I'm finding out everything. I have had one talk with Lesniak, which I told you about. I have not heard anything else back. They don't talk to me about anything. From what I can see with any other of the plaintiffs, I don't think they get talked to either. I have no clue what's going on. Everything that I know, you know, I've told you everything. I mean, it's an absolute shit show. And then you got this stuff with Hong. I don't know. I mean, whatever the hell Hong is doing, I mean, that makes me. I do think in a lot of regards, Granny's full of shit with some of the stuff that her, like, she's got a crackpot attorney. But I mean, as far as knowing anything, I don't know.
Brittany, my attorney had a ring on his finger that was worth more than your home and the homes that you gained through your inheritance. Crackpot attorney. He's harassing me. Who does he think he is? Do you know the judge, like, giggled when she heard that you said, who does he think he is to tell me I have 30 days? Like my attorney said, as if he wrote the rules of litigation in Pennsylvania. Call him a crockpot attorney. She sure did, feisty Nana. She sure fucking did. Gonna sit up there. He's a crockpot attorney. I only know that word because of him, but I'm gonna say it. Wrong. He's an attorney that cares about the people, cares about what he went to school to fight, and is going to fight all the way through to make sure people like you and Joseph Lasniak and Nick don't get away with the frivolous shit that you're doing. Not here, not there, not anywhere. Okay? That is what he's going to do. You may not like it. We don't give a shit if you like it. The fact remains. And by the way, somebody made us this lovely song. Of course they did. Of course they did. And Lasniak was dumbfounded seeing that message, hearing what Brittany was saying, hearing what Nick was saying. You know, they said one time that if Granny had a good attorney, he would tell her to shut up. No attorney tells you to go live and say these things. An attorney that is fighting for my freedom of speech will never tell me to shut up. And the moment he does, I will fire him. Ask why I got rid of the last bunch. Okay? If I was going to shut up, then I would have just fucking shut up and agreed to it, and I wouldn't be out of pocket thousands of fucking dollars. But you know what an attorney that was actually representing you in litigation would have said? If you're going to put in Lifetime movie, fucking dramatic declarations such as you can't sleep, you wake up with knots in your stomach and cold sweats, then you don't continue to fucking poke the person. Because nothing will speak louder to the truth than your own live streams. From the day you filed to this weekend that just passed. That's all I have to show the courts to show that your declarations were full of bullshit, fallacies, and quite frankly, facts about yourself. You admitted it. She said when I called her a fat, wasteful piece of shit, it hit to the identity of who she is. So you identify as a fat, wasteful piece of shit. So can you really sue me about it? I don't think so. But then again, what do I know? My attorney's a crockpot.
You got the Secret Service. You got the FBI. They'll drag me from the pulpit. They'll take away my mic. They'll do what daddy tells them. Well, no, son, dad, and the girls, but you can't take my freedom of speech. No, you can't take my freedom of speech. You infiltrated the network. You tried to build a case, but you can't come after my spirit. You can't come after my faith. And the world could strip it all from me, but there's just one thing. You can't take my freedom of speech. No, you can't take my freedom of speech. You can't take my freedom of speech. You can't take my freedom of speech and ruin my career, spread lies, do crimes, all for some wreck, political gain. But people forget you're not shining the light for the LGBTQIA. I made the music account and label names, but okay, go and snitch, my friends. But remember where your rec budget came from, where your daddy loyalty is. And I built your wagons. Maybe you're the here for nothing kid. And may they know, bitch, may they never forget. You can't say